Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Flintlocks and Fireballs, where a handful of man actors, apparently from the West Country, will attempt to survive the treacherous waters of Dungeons and Dragons.
Don't act like that's out of context, like you haven't been doing that accent for 10 minutes at this point.
It's out of context for listeners.
At least one of us is.
Playing all innocence. He's been doing this accent for ages. We chimed in this accent today.
Oh, yes, Dungeon Master Jason Phelps. I'm joined as ever. I'm Witch Cider Bellekom. Sam, that's a big one. Burns. And Ellie, William Masham Stigma Sparrow.
I have literally no idea what you just said. I usually can understand, but I live in a mansion that sticks with you. That's what it sounded like.
Surprised you didn't get Combine Harvester in there somewhere, but never mind.
We'll give you the key. That's older than all of us, that particular song.
Yes.
Oh, it is, but we all got it.
Yeah. Oh. It's older than some of us combined.
Yeah.
Oh. Some of us. Some of us are old and decrepit, and if you combine our ages, we make one really, really old person.
No, this stone woman. Oh, sorry, in our timeline, that's just come out.
Yeah, we think we're hilarious.
Speaking of timelines, it's time for us to...
Well done. That was an actually relevant segue this week.
Genuine segue.
Future
Are you
us.
well?
What nudie stone women from the present? It's Future Jason with messages from the present. This episode of Flintlocks and Fireballs is brought to you by you. As ever, a massive thanks to our crew members on the Flintlocks Patreon who help keep this ship sailing. There's a wealth of extra content and bonus features for patrons, including regular blog posts, extra stories narrated by the cast, artwork, and a monthly poll for the community to help design an element to go into the game. You can check it out at patreon.com/Flintlocks and Fireballs, link in the description. We're proud to announce that we are supported by dnddice.com as one of their affiliates. They are fine manufacturers of dice and dice-related supplies, but don't just take our word for it. Here to tell us all about it is our special friend, www.Warbatiddle. Well, gee gosh golly gee willikers. These are some fine dice, or I'm not Walter Wilbur Williker Warbatiddle the Eighth. You might have heard of my great-great-great-great-grandfather, Walter, who formed Warbatiddle's Wieners, or my grandfather Walter, who invented the World Wide Wireless Web, which is why every website has www. Before the address. Well, I'm here to talk to you today about the wonders of dnddice.com. See, those fine folks at D&D Dice have been manufacturing beautiful specialty dice since the yonder year of 2010, or as they call it in modern times, 2010. And oh boy, Billy, do they have some fine merchandise to speak of. They got steampunk dice with teeny tiny gears inside. They got beach dice with teeny tiny shells inside. They got undead dice with teeny tiny skulls inside. They got dice that glow in the dark. They got dice-shaped candles that you can set on fire in the dark. They got wood dice, metal dice, glass dice, and gemstone dice. And they even got these gosh darn gorgeous dice bags made from premium Italian leather that unfold into dice trays. There are some beautiful dice at dnddice.com, and if you want to get your fingers all over them, all you gotta do is click through the affiliate link in the description, and that'll take you straight to www.dnddice.com. And you make sure to tell them that Walter Wilbur Williker Warbatiddle sent you. We're also an affiliate of Zavvi, fine producers of nerdy garments and handy household items. Remember, you can click through the affiliate link in the description and use code FLINTLOCKS20 to take 20% off clothing, and FLINTLOCKS10 to take 10% off not clothing. Once again, we're involved with the online group heist game Agent Venture, the most fun you can have on a Zoom call while keeping your shirt on. Pull off a heist, infiltrate a base, and save the world with only a laptop, an internet connection, and your socially distant friends. Check out the link in the description. And that's it for announcements this time. Back to you, Past Jason.
I wonder if anyone's actually disappointed that there weren't nudie stone women in that
I
line.
am.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm
highly
so disappointed.
Well, we'll have to get our nudie stone woman fix somewhere else.
That's what the internet's for.
Yay! The internet is really, really great.
Yes.
Cool, cool.
Nudie stone women.
I'm
Right,
curious
we'll
what
come on.
comes up when you put that in.
Tell us of the horrors.
What
there's
the
a
joys?
book.
There's a book of nudie stone women?
It's called Nudie Beach by Amber Stone, who
Oh,
I think might be a woman.
excellent.
Right. Well,
That was not disappointing, actually.
well done, algorithm.
Honestly, what I'll probably find if I put in nudie stone women into Google is some really good drawing references, because it'll be loads of old naked statues, won't it?
Yeah, probably.
It's mostly women sat on stones at the moment in the images, which is a little disappointing.
How many are nudie?
Not that nudie.
Yeah.
Sad.
Even more disappointing. Oh, I've got a safe search on.
Ah, that'd be why. You wholesome person, you.
So wholesome.
Moving swiftly onwards. It's time for us to begin Flintlocks and Fireballs. Our land stands on the sabre's edge.
Our cities are a powder keg.
Brother chains brother, no one's free. A life on land is short, you'll see.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.
Previously, on Flintlocks and Fireballs. The party are in the midst of the siege of Newmark, but have actually skipped town for a little while in order to help help speed up a missing shipment of arms that are due to be delivered to aid the resistance. Upon arriving at the 5 Points Arms Manufactory, aka Gold Star Shipping, aka the Institute, they found that this small, isolated commune of possibly, in possibly all cases, press-ganged scientists and scholars was currently missing key members. The party went and retrieved those lost party members and learned about a disconcerting mission that the expedition had been sent out to retrieve an ancient and seemingly lost fungus known as the Blue Death. In a sense, this mission was successful, as the Blue Death proceeded to infect nearly the entirety of the Institute overnight, and nearly managed to spill out of the Institute's defensible enchanted walls, and start yet another cataclysmic, possibly extinction level event. Fortunately, thanks to the efforts of the party and chocolate, so much chocolate, the Blue Death was successfully suppressed. The infected members of the Institute were cured, if bitterly exhausted, and order has been restored. You all get a bit of sleep.
Oh, do we get a long rest?
And a bath.
What?
Oh, luxury.
Yes, 3 baths, in fact. You're able to wash off the copious amounts of dried caking chocolate.
Can you even imagine how long it takes to get the chocolate out of Celestia's hair?
I would rather not.
Like,
Jeffrey's
It's
fur.
Oh,
no.
it's
oh.
it's quicker than you'd think. Fortunately, because prestidigitation is literally designed to
This
assist
is
with
true.
that.
This is very true.
So that plus a bath, and honestly, it's actually not that bad. But you are just like covered in chocolate.
Not in a sexy way.
And not in a sexy way. You, like, baked into your mind are the images of each other, just, like, covered. It's like, again, not in a sexy way, coming out of a mud fight. Like, an hour after a mud fight, when the mud has dried and it's just forming clumps everywhere.
I've done that.
Yeah.
The shower is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Or a shower for being back covered in mud is incredible.
Yeah.
But, no, and you definitely do also have an image. You do also now have an image of Lady Grace and Viv, for once not looking particularly put together, just like caked in drying chocolate.
Honestly don't know how I'm going to explain this to Molly.
Yeah, good luck. I have nothing.
Yeah.
Very carefully, as always, but...
Nevertheless, you are able... Well, you know, if you want a short snack at any point, you probably will get something other than chocolate, because you've had enough of it. But...
I think they're probably all out as well.
No, I mean just, like, licking it off your arm before the bath.
Yes.
Like a cat.
Yes.
Scamp does a certain amount of that. Also, thanks to wild magic, briefly grows sour wine grapes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which
What
just...
was with that?
Oh, who knows?
But
Let's
hey,
make some wine.
Ugh.
you now have a bushel of wine grapes.
They look like grapes, but they grew on you like boils. And I feel
Yep.
so weird about that.
Do you want to eat one?
No. No, I really don't.
Do you eat one, Scamp?
I would. Of course I. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I have to know.
I definitely eat my own wine grapes. I
yeah,
feel
it's fine. They're quite sour. These are wine grapes rather than dessert grapes. But like
Boo.
maybe with some pressing and aging, they might make a decent bottle.
Are you booing because they're rubbish grapes or because you found out that they are in fact boils?
Oh, they're rubbish. They're not sweet at all.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not too bad with the dark chocolate on them, but like they're not sweet grapes.
Was it just the magic that caused you to come down with a case of sour grapes?
Hey, puns.
Going to bed.
And with that, I shall bid you good night.
Which is in fact good morning. You all managed to get some rest, a long rest in fact, and awaken about 2 PM. There is activity, though not a lot of activity. A lot of people are still sleeping off the events of the previous night. And as you kind of rouse yourselves, get dressed, again, the ability to clean and dry clothes through magic is great. You find that there is a skeleton staff working in the refectory, and it's mostly like there's not quite the elaborate spread that you've seen before. It's there's a lot of pancakes basically. It's stuff that they could make quickly. Almost no chocolate.
Ugh.
Everyone's a bit sick of chocolate.
Why would you have pancakes and no chocolate? I don't understand.
There is
Well,
cream.
there's other things you can put on them.
I don't understand.
No,
Only you want chocolate right now, my darling.
you have to. I'm afraid you have to content yourself with finely ground sugar, pots of lemon juice, freshly squeezed lemon juice, jam, and whipped cream.
Oh.
You do find that, there's a lot of the people most active are the kitchen staff, many of whom were actually part of the survivors who didn't get turned into microwave drones to begin with, and who are just trying to get basic food ready for everyone who can. The various assistants to the cleric, who you can who you overhear someone commenting as working and looking absolutely knackered over in the clinic. Which is not surprising, since the last time you saw the cleric, they were one of the they had been converted into a sapient node for the mycoid as well, and the security staff.
They're having a bit of a day.
Yeah.
It's
They are, aren't they?
yeah, everyone, especially everyone working, looks knackered. With one exception. You don't know if she's just used to poise or what, but Lady Grace is there, and tucking into a pancake stuffed with bacon, with Viv nearby. Viv is looking a little like, frankly, she's got bags under her eyes.
Ooh,
She
that
has
seems fair.
clearly not slept and has been dealing with this. She does appear to have magically cleaned her clothes. Lady Grace is actually wearing a different dress as well. This instead of the blue and green that dress that you've seen her in before, this one is a. What's this? Yeah, this one is tan coloured with russet highlights. To it. Of a not dissimilar style. She does seem to be wearing the same jewellery.
It's pretty colours.
Oh, yes. And is... although, interestingly, she is actually also wearing a pair of glasses, which seems to be her concession to being tired. You can see she's got a thin pair of silver-rimmed spectacles on. And she is having a working brunch or lunch. As you can see her going over reports that have been placed in front of her and talking to various members of the security staff before sending them in different directions. She looks up upon seeing you enter. Ah! Celestia. Corzin. Scamp.
Morning, afternoon, that one.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing?
Getting things back into order. We have most people semi-confined to rooms in certain cases where we can observe them, and we've been vetting staff just in case there were any more hidden members.
Good idea.
Right. Good idea.
Hard to know that we've got everybody.
Yeah.
Anyone particularly injured or particularly under suspicion is being detained in the clinic, including the administrator.
Oh, yeah?
She takes
Is
a
there
sip
enough
of
chocolate
coffee.
left over in case one of them is latent?
Indeed. If there's any suspicion, we're just having people swallow a small amount.
Good idea.
I'm sure there are nastier medicines.
What are we going to do about the administrator, then?
Throw her in the river. I don't know.
As much as I love that idea, we should probably do something else.
We should probably do something responsible and sensible.
We really should talk to her.
Yes, actually. I would be interested to hear what you think the right thing to do is.
Do you have one?
Ugh.
I do, but I want to hear yours.
Okay. Why is that?
Well, to be quite frank, it's a useful way for me to gauge your character and see how you operate, beyond what I've already observed.
Okay. That makes sense.
Well, one way or another, we have, like it or not, an in with this this thing that's just happened here. I think people are hopefully going to be a bit more well disposed to us than otherwise they might be.
I mean, I don't think anything under the sun is going to make that lady well disposed towards us.
No.
No,
But the rest of the
Well-
people, maybe.
yeah, nobody rules alone is my point.
This is true.
Yeah. We need to know who she's actually, like, what her actual interests are, because something else is going on with her, I think.
Yeah, I
It doesn't
get the
all
distinction.
quite add up. Like, either the Institute has some interests that we're unaware of, or she's playing two games.
I also just get the impression from her that she's middle management.
But she was
No,
involved in
Marissa
the
was
whole...
middle management as well.
Yeah, there's various strata of it, but I frankly, unless this is an absolutely spectacular blunder, it's the sort of thing that, somebody who was overly ambitious would do, whose reach exceeded their grasp.
Once, one of my factory managers made a serious purchasing error, and it ran the risk of exposing how much they had been skimming off the top.
Mm-hmm.
And they went to some very extreme lengths to try and conceal this from me.
We may have dropped a name that upset her a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
This is not a bad way of maybe getting... And then she's like... We said a name that you... Celestia said a name that upset her, that we shouldn't have known.
Mm.
And then immediately we get sent off after a thing that turns out to be a lot more deadly than we were ever informed.
Yeah. Whoa, what a coincidence. How did it happen?
That does seem a little bit too suspect, yes,
Also,
you're right.
the lady under her was working for Orsyria. To some capacity, they wanted that ranch.
And... yeah.
And
so
all the researchers and that just got sent off to somewhere, whoa, surprisingly dangerous.
Yeah, just as they're about to do a big thing against Assyria.
Also, not that Ellie randomly listened to this while they were doing artwork the other day. I just needed Ellen in my life while I was doing artwork. I was having a bad day. So Ellie listened to this the other day. In that past vision that I saw of Ellen's past, they did sell the Institute as being for Orsyria.
As you say this, you see Lady Grace just passes just flicks a hand to one of the security officers coming to approach her, and they pull back and give you some space. Just didn't want people overhearing.
Oh, no, that's...
Fair
yeah,
enough.
we talk about all sorts of shit in places we shouldn't. We need to be a bit more careful.
To be honest, they seem to be... They seem to be as much for Orsyria as they are for whoever has the deepest pockets.
Yes and no. The Institute, maybe, but this lady in particular, she's working for Assyria. That's what that... The whole thing with Michael wasn't about making money in general. It was about keeping things in Assyrian hands.
Yeah, and keeping the order.
If you were trying to sell it to somebody from Orsyria, you might try and prey on the patriotism side of things.
She was for Orsyria, that was the whole thing. The Institute is in question, I don't think she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why in that flashback did they say they were for Orsyria and now they're for us?
That is something we need to figure out.
Have they changed? Has something changed?
Well,
It could
not.
it could be money.
Deep pockets rather than political aspirations.
It could be money.
Or maybe they had a falling out with Assyria. Maybe Assyria's not giving them the freedom they wanted.
Maybe, but we need to know how reliable this place is, because we're going to need more guns.
We are.
Yes.
These are not the last guns we need.
And indeed, guns of this caliber will be particularly advantageous. We have here a distinct technological advantage over the Redcoats.
Yes, one that they would be all too willing to get their hands on if they could, but seemingly now they can't for whatever reason.
Suffice to say it, were the Orsyrian government to take over this institute, I have no doubt they would attempt to keep it together, but perhaps not under the comfortable conditions to which the staff here have grown accustomed.
No, I doubt it somehow.
Yeah, that could be part of it.
Explain your thinking.
If they switched, could that be part of the switching? The people here weren't happy.
Perhaps. It depends how happy people here are, or comfortable.
The few people we've talked to seem to think they had a good thing going.
Yeah,
But we haven't
they're
talked to everyone.
comfortable if nothing else, but
But they're also incredibly unaware of what's actually going on, like, back home. All
yeah.
of them think that they've had messages passed on that I don't think have been.
No, I don't think anyone's had messages passed on. I guess I give a brief explanation of Ellen checking the whole time that nobody's around who shouldn't be.
yeah.
She focuses, nods a couple of times, seems to slot it away somewhere in her mind. I see. Well, perhaps then it is time that we arrange a private audience with the administrator.
Who I believe is not the administrator for much longer, from what you said last time.
She gives a small smile. I think that when news of this reaches whoever is behind her, she will be very lucky to find herself in a job.
Bloody hope so.
Well, I suppose there's only so incompetent you can be, is there?
I did hear a wonderful phrase read a wonderful phrase written in the newspapers from Sue. The chap called Mistson.
Yeah, we know him.
He said when considering motives that far more often ignorance is to blame than malice. I can find that
Go
this
along
is
with that.
often true, but it's worth checking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is the first thing you should check. Not sure if I buy that you could get to being the administrator through ignorance.
No, true. However,
Like, I don't know if you could be in her
Much
position
depends.
and still be ignorant.
it all very much depends on how she came to be in that position in the first place. I mean, could we ask someone? Like, how long has she been administrator? How did she become administrator?
If we can ask her.
Of course.
I just want to know who she's actually working for.
Yeah.
She looks at the remaining members of the security staff hanging back. I'm afraid I'm called elsewhere. Please convey these. She bundles up the documents and passes them to one of them. To Mr. Horhace in the administration office. He will carry on with assigning tasks from there. Good day. She stands, and Viv as well. Oh, it's been a little while since I've gotten to watch an interrogation. Audience, Viv, of course.
Of course.
As I said, Administrator Runecarver is currently in isolation in the clinic. I will let the three of you lead.
Okay.
Oh boy.
You
Go to her room.
Yeah,
or
you make your
whatever.
way to the clinic, which is busy, but not. There's actually very little of dealing with the fungus. What there is a lot of is dealing with setting broken bones, treating sprains, and all the injuries that came from a malevolent parasitic fungus possessing you and driving you past your body's comfortable limits.
By the way, why is it that if you've been leading something for ages, as soon as someone says, "I'll let you lead," you get nervous? We've done this loads of times. She's like, "I'll let you lead." I'm like, "Oh no." What is that? That's so
It's a
weird.
thing. That when you refer to a thing, it becomes a thing.
Yeah, yeah. I get it works too, to be fair. Definitely. As soon as someone says I'm leader, even if I am anyway, I'm like, "Oh no.
Oh no.
Not me."
Yeah.
You've caught me
So
out.
weird.
I'm suddenly responsible.
I'm a fraud.
Oh, imposter syndrome.
I can't do this pretend interrogation. I'm not qualified. Oh, wait.
clinic, and Lady Grace leads you to a small side room, which she nods to a security guard who unlocks it. And inside you find a private room with a neat, well-kept bed and and an awake and somewhat irritable-looking administrator, Taylor Runecarver, sat in basically like a it's pretty much a hospital gown, like a white gown, eating some fruit from a platter. It looks more out of boredom from the small little plate of like spat out seeds and stones and so on. She does look up the moment you enter. About time. Now,
Really? Is that how you're going to start?
how much?
Sorry, did you have somewhere else to be?
Yeah, do you have a prior engagement? Sending people off to deadly mushroom expeditions or something?
She leans back a little bit. So I take it my observation is not complete.
Not quite.
She glances over the five of you. I mean, is Jeffrey here?
Of course Jeffrey's
Okay.
here.
Stormy's having
This
a nap
is-
in the room.
Can you imagine the chaos that would be Jeffrey on their own here? No.
the seven of you, then with Marjorie included, pausing
Oh,
for
Marjorie has to be included.
pausing for a moment at the animals before looking back to the core three, as it were. So,
So?
So.
So,
So.
where would we like to begin?
Yes. Please start talking, by all means. Ready to hear it.
well, I suppose, what are your questions then?
Oh, our question. We've got a few, haven't we?
Yeah, quite a few,
closes and
really.
locks
Maybe
the
we
door.
should have written these out, made a
Maybe
list.
we should.
Shall we start with how long have you been aware that this, and he gestures broadly, was something that could happen with this fungus?
I was briefed on the perceived properties when the chief researcher left, which would make it about
Out of character laughing. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me.
which would make it about 3 days.
Is she telling the truth?
Roll an insight check.
Roll an insight check.
Rachel's
Oh,
rolled
that's
never.
a 17. No, it's not a 17 because my modifier is not 3. It is a 19.
You get the feeling that she's not lying, but might be holding things back.
You're doing my favourite thing, which is to not technically lie, and I'm an untrustworthy person because of that. So you'll understand,
We've dealt
perhaps,
with
if maybe
people.
we're hesitant to believe you entirely.
Yeah.
We've dealt with people who omit truths rather than outright lying.
Also, I mean, the thing is, darling, we already know that you're a bit of a liar. Because we know that you were working with Melissa. With Marissa, sorry, I'm getting my letters mixed up. We actually know that. Not like we're here to question you about it. We know that that's a thing. We are perfectly aware of it. We'd like to know the ins and outs of it.
And
So we
what-
know you've been keeping things from us anyway.
What exactly do you think you know?
I don't need to tell you that. What I need you to do is tell me things.
No. That's a whole complicated thing that we just
Extremely
don't have the
complex.
time to, frankly.
She
I assume
folds
she
her
had a
arms.
period of time where there were some things she couldn't tell you, right?
Just folds her arms.
Well, look in her eyes. Is she on Dream Clear again?
Ooh, roll a perception check or a medicine check, whichever you prefer.
Lol, medicine. As if.
Could I
That's a
assist?
21.
21's enough with perception. Her eyes are not dilated.
Okay, fair enough.
She apparently does not have access to Dream Clear here.
I mean, you're not on Dream Clear this time, so I could just look, but I'd rather not.
Her eyes narrow a little. I fail to see how whatever matter may have been between myself and this Marissa is of relevance.
It's relevant because this matter which did happen between you and Marissa means that you are somehow working for Ossyria, and we came here on the knowledge that this institute was making guns for us and us exclusively. And the thing is, how this all connects, you see, is that just when we had this massive order of guns put in, all the top researchers and all the people that needed to make the guns just so coincidentally went missing and got taken over by a deadly fucking fungus, darling. Can you see how the pieces go together? It's not a difficult explanation, is it? And it turns out that you're at the top.
Rather convenient.
Whoa, how did this happen?
It's a mystery.
Just a bit tired, so if you could start making sense, I'd appreciate it.
It's been a long few days.
It really has. You've got a lot to do, we've got a lot to do.
So, your concern is with double dealing.
Yes.
Among other things.
For a start.
But yeah, it's a good place to start.
The answer to your first question is simple. I lied to Marissa. She was sympathetic to Ossyrian causes. So she was made to believe it would be to the benefit of the Ossyrian government.
Would you be willing to say that under a truce spell?
She doesn't react.
Well, that's a
And more to
no
the point,
then.
How many other people have you said to that?
What was that?
I said, more to the point, how many other people have you said that to?
I mean, yeah, that's a good point.
I am not at liberty to disclose that information.
Boo!
Who is keeping you not at liberty then?
Suffice to say, it is not in the interests of my superiors.
Your superiors being who exactly?
It is not in the interest of my superiors
This is
for me
getting
to tell you.
really boring. I'm going to look in your head at any second.
She flinches a little. My superiors are, to the best of my knowledge, positively inclined towards your resistance.
Then why the whole thing with Marissa?
How did that help?
The Van der Sar
You are.
family are perceived to be pro-Ossyrian, or in... She pauses for a moment. Inclined towards certain policies that conflict with the interests of the founders.
Did you go on?
To put it simply, they are certainly within that wing of that family's interests, broadly in favour of the continued institution of slavery, which the founders believe is poor business. Free people are more productive people. Slaves don't have money to buy things.
It's like the worst reason for ending slavery I've ever heard. I'm still glad they're against it, but like, fucking hell.
So what was going on
all
with...
the reasons you could be against slavery.
But that wasn't what was happening.
That also, this is also just, yes, it's irrelevant information that you're currently giving us. You're not answering
because
questions.
that's not what was happening. It was not technically slavery, but it was much the same effect.
I've got a
wasn't
lot of
ending
spells
it.
left today, my love. So many. I could look in your head so many times. We could just sit here and do it over and over and over again. But I don't really want to. I'd rather you just talk to us. And I was actually going to come in here and, I don't know, be a bit less hostile. But then you were immediately an arsehole. So
I have every reason to believe you are here to threaten me, and this is what appears to be the case. Why is it in my interests to share this information with you?
do you like your situation?
Pardon?
Whatever the arrangement is, are you happy in it? Do they have something over you? Are you comfortable? Are you safe?
Yes, I am comfortable. I am safe. That is what
anyone else here?
they have over me.
How do you sleep?
Roll a persuasion check.
Mm, 30.
It will all work out
No, it won't.
in the end. It has.
It hasn't.
Without the methods that we took, none of this could have happened.
Without the methods that you took, a lot of mothers would know where their children are right now.
They will be reunited in time.
Yes, but it won't be the
You've caused
same.
years of distress, and not everyone will be. It's a long time.
People live and die in that time. That's on you.
Secrecy was a paramount requirement.
You could have had secrecy without doing that.
Not assured. The founders were clear.
You don't feel good
We
about it,
didn't
though,
come
do
in
you?
here wanting to be aggressive and threatening, but we've got really good reason to think you maybe tried to get us and a lot of other people killed to keep things going your way.
I realise you have little reason to believe me, but
No reason to believe you. But we're open to being persuaded.
The Blue Death, the outbreak, was simply an accident. I authorized its acquisition because of its potential use, if it could be controlled. Also, the chief researcher believed it would be possible. It was not any of our intents for it to not be contained.
Having made the decision you did, and having narrowly avoided the outbreak that could have occurred, could you have lived with yourself if that stuff had got outside the confines of this place?
That could be the end of Sunday.
Is that something that would have given you pause?
Commodore Horhace, I am the administrator of an arms manufacturing company. Let us say, then, that I would deeply regret any unintended deaths.
Cold comfort for anyone who got in the way.
Because that's sort of a world-ending thing, potentially. You realise that's the scale of what this was.
Trust me, you've had experience with this.
We
sort of thing.
had every reason to believe that the scale had been exceeded in the remaining stories. In addition, it had not been our intent to test it in anything but a controlled environment. Had the kidnappings not occurred, it would have been safely conveyed back and stored.
I have a question. Why that mushroom in particular? What was it for?
It was potentially, if a means of effectively containing its spread and application was found, an astonishingly powerful weapon.
No wonder you don't sleep well. That makes sense. We seem to be at an impasse here. Because we need assurance that shipments aren't going to keep going miraculously awry at exactly the right times for Ossyria. And I don't know how we get that. Not from you. I mean, I suppose it's comforting that you're probably not going to be working here anymore. But how do we know that nobody else is in on it?
We're kind of used to finding out there's a big conspiracy just after it's too late for us to do something about it, so you'll understand if we're being a little cautious.
And you understand if we sit here for a while trying to figure out what to do.
Well,
We have time, do you?
if what you say is true, and it seems likely this has gone beyond my capacity to keep under control, it will not matter much. I will return home in disgrace without my prospects or my future. A shame and a disgrace to my clan. I appreciate this may not seem a great punishment, but I have worked to see this happen for the last nearly 30 years. From its concept to its current form. This is this portion of my life's work.
I respect that. And I have sympathy. Genuinely. But all you're talking about is going home in disgrace after years away. Which is exactly the fate you've consigned everyone here to when they realised their families didn't get the message and you told them they got married to imaginary people and not invited them to the wedding. People don't forgive people for disappearing.
Thinks for a moment.
Whatever stories
Really?
you made up, it doesn't matter. There are going to be a lot of relationships that aren't repaired and a lot of people going home in disgrace because of this portion of your life's work. Why shouldn't one of them be you? I'm sorry that that's going to happen to you. I know it's
It is,
awful,
Spy.
but
It is what will happen.
You didn't pay heed to the humanoid cost when there was progress to be had out of it.
and now it's come down on you.
Well, so be it.
Also, if it helps, it doesn't appear that this place is going to be dismantled. There's a new administrator already.
Wonderful. My replacement has been chosen.
Yeah, jurist. Good manager. Apparently.
She
Had more scruples, I'd wager.
thinks for a moment, shrugs slightly. Not incompetent. I wish him much luck, and that in the position of comfort we are now in, he does not need to make the sacrifices I chose.
What sacrifices?
Secrecy. Perhaps there were kinder ways, but
No, there were.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no perhaps there.
Also, it's not a hard sell, darling. Oh, hey, you scientist over there who wants to get your paper published and all of your research funded for the next 5 years. Oh, just don't tell your mum what you're doing, but tell her you're going away for work. Oh, done.
yes, well, up until for a few 3 short years, we were able to do something more like that, more effectively. Unfortunately, recently, the only member of our recruitment staff who could wipe memories was murdered. So we've had to resort to the old-fashioned techniques. But that is by the by.
No, it's not. What do you mean?
When we started this process, we were, frankly, abducting and threatening people in order to keep them silent if they refused. We found a more elegant means through a skald who was able to erase memories of the recruitment. Unfortunately, she was killed in a street fight recently.
After she tried to tamper with the wrong person's
Quite
memories.
elegant.
Oh. She looks distasteful for a moment.
Sorry, we get about a lot.
Not fun having your memory tampered with.
It was judged to be kinder than leaving the threat. And still cost effective.
There are other ways you could have done this.
I was granted a budget. I chose the methods that would allow me to achieve the most with what I had.
I get the impression you feel that on some level this makes you courageous in some way. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Halflings, elves, even tieflings.
Oh, it's just everyone else, is it?
You don't understand.
What, the
When-
pursuit of excellence?
Yes, what that really means.
Yeah, I do, actually. You haven't met her, but you tried to abduct somebody a while ago called Benilda Trothseeker. She is somebody, she's a dwarf, like you, who is in pursuit of excellence, like you. And you know what's fucking excellent about it? She's amazing at her job. She's going to change the world. She's going to do incredible things. But She doesn't hurt people to do it. That's what makes it excellent. She's fucking lovely, actually. And she's probably better than you at a lot of things, and she doesn't hurt anyone doing it. It's not worth shit. It's not worth shit if you hurt whole groups of people for it. There are plenty of dwarves who do incredible things. I actually really respect the dwarven pursuit of excellence. I think it's a wonderful thing to do with a long life. I think that whole idea is amazing, actually. I mean, what the fuck have the drow done with long lives? We don't even want to talk about that. The dwarves, they do some really exciting things with their years. They advance technology. They make beautiful, amazing things. But most of you don't fuck other people up for it. So why did you have to?
It was the best way
No, it wasn't.
I saw.
No.
Well, then
to-
you are blind.
No,
You need to get some glasses.
I am sighted, and I believed this would change the world quickest and most effectively.
Can I assure you, you're not as fucking sighted as you think you are.
What has been learned here, what has been created and researched, will change everything that is to come.
Yes, but you could have done it
everyone
without
who takes
hurting
advantage
people.
of that. And everyone, whether they know it or not, who takes advantage of that is going to have the blood on their hands of anyone who died or suffered in order to achieve it.
So too do all farmers who plant crops on land taken from another.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to some degree I agree with you. You're right.
you're right in that one. Doesn't mean either one is right.
Well, I will hold my head high among my ancestors when the day comes.
I hope that's not for a very long time. You need to live with this. Understand why it was wrong and live with it.
Ask your questions.
How much is Orsiria involved here? Tell us everything.
Not. This, well, strictly speaking, we export a small amount of conventional arms to maintain our hunting and sports goods license, but otherwise extensively not. All of this is designed to be concealed from Orsirian sight. I do not know the full extent of the Founder's plans, but I know they are in opposition to the goals of the Orsirian Empire here.
Would you be willing to let me look in your head and or say that under a truth spell?
I will say that under a truth spell.
Right?
Corzin, if you would.
Yep. Corzin casts a zone of truth.
She does not resist.
Yeah, and you can tell if someone does, can't you?
You can.
Yep.
I am not working for the Osirian government. The Osirian government has no roots here to the best of my knowledge, and I look hard to make sure that is the case.
The names of the founders of this place, what are they?
I want you to either, at your choice, roll a persuasion or an intimidation check.
I know. Just give him the tiniest, like if we stood next to each other, the tiniest tap on kind of, I guess it would be the back of your shoulder, and you get inspiration.
Yeah. Thank you. I may need it. I'm gonna go with persuasion, but they're both as bad as each other. So
No, the method you're using makes a difference.
Okay. Right, I'm gonna use the inspiration straight away. Okay, that makes for a total of 15.
I need to just check something. Okay. She just shakes her head slightly.
Okay, how about a different angle? If we wanted to talk to the founders, how would we do that? If you can't tell us who they are, could you give us some indication as to how to get to them ourselves?
They will likely send a representative to confirm the choice of my replacement. I was their only point of contact.
Okay. What are they to you? Are they relatives? Are they friends? Are they employers?
Employers and great people.
How did you end up involved with them? Like, what was that? How did that happen?
I started working for them in a smaller capacity as an administrator on different projects at the start of my career. I made it my life's goal to build organizations, to construct groups, gather together the best people for the best job. At the places I worked, I did well. I pursued excellence, and they invited me to speak to them. A few initial meetings, but once they felt they had the measure of me, we spoke face to face, and they told me what they hoped to achieve, and gave me funding and a mission and a time limit.
What was the time
So
limit?
what was the first thing they were hoping to achieve?
I guess both of those questions stand.
Yes.
The time limit was, broadly speaking, around now.
Now?
Within a 3-year period, essentially before 1800.
Okay. And the limit was for what? To have the place built, or is that when it would stop?
To have
it functioning is what I mean.
To
by
have
built.
what we considered a 10-year technological advantage over the standing armies of Syria.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we are within 8 to 10 years ahead. That is a comfort.
I hate to ask, but you wouldn't believe how often it comes up. They're not hags, are they?
No.
Okay, just checking.
You don't seem that surprised that we asked, though.
That's actually a good point. I just need to check what the reasoning for her response to that. Hag is an old term for old meddling woman.
No.
No, don't worry. You really don't want to get into that. The less you know, the better. Corzin, what was your question? You'd asked a question.
I think they've kind of answered it in that what was the original goal? To create a 10-year technological advantage.
Okay.
And how long has this place been up and running?
We are in the 12th year at this site.
Wow.
There are others?
There were initially there were other sites initially in less comfortable locations. We built a site in Totona, the Ferosian colony in West Sunder, where we recruited the chief researcher. However, we were forced to move sites after the Ferosian government became aware of our activities.
That makes sense.
Any others?
Early, smaller sites, initially in Jova, then Haldanos, before moving to Sunder.
How did you meet Marissa, and what was your involvement with the Vandersars and all that stuff, then? You're giving us half answers, but you haven't actually answered the question.
The founders, one gave me instructions to liaise with the chief staff of Peter Vandersar, knowing he was on his deathbed, in order to ensure that we could break up the power of the Vandersar family and have an amenable, or failing that, controllable individual in control. Breaking up their power, presumably, aids the founders' goals in a way that they have not revealed to me.
I mean, the person in charge of that house now is definitely going to aid their goals. Can I have an out-of-character check-in?
Yes.
What was it exactly that I saw Marissa reporting to her?
You saw Marissa report, this is from my memory, you saw Marissa report to her that she had doctored the will of Peter Vandersar so that it was, or rather had everything in place to doctor the will, and was asking was basically they were confirming who it should be left to, and Brunkava pretty much said, unfortunately, it can't be you because that's too suspicious. Do you have someone else in mind? And Marissa nominated Michael because Peter's nurse, basically.
So technically, they could not have been working together from that conversation.
Yeah. Or rather, they were clearly working together.
They could have been, but there could have been a double cross going on.
Yeah.
Because Michael makes sense as a person who would be
Yeah.
for the rebellious goal.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like, there's no question that would have been it. Interesting.
Just to confirm, these other sites are shut down now?
Shut down, and we made sure to move whatever research was there. The Totona site was left in a hurry. It is possible that some notes could have remained, but we tried to destroy anything we couldn't take.
Assuming that your goal was achieved, what would have happened next? Would it have just been sold to whoever wasn't Orsiria?
No. I suspected we had a goal in mind. For some time now, I had believed there would be a plan to support Sul. However, we received instructions a few months ago to change who we were exporting to. We had prepared large numbers of arms, conventional arms, to be shipped to Sul, and several I believe it was about 30,000 small arms, were shipped there through a circuitous route via Wending and Brighthall in order to disguise the method by which the point of origin through our shell company, Gold Star Shipping. However, after a certain point in that particular revolution's progress, we were instructed not to provide the new up-to-date weaponry to Seoul, but instead to focus on supporting efforts here. Around about the same time, she notes with a frown, that the newspapers began printing a great deal more pro-independence rhetoric.
Interesting.
You don't know a scrimshaw, do you?
I think that is a method of detailing whalebone.
No, a person.
No.
What's her other name?
Okay, just checking.
What's her other name?
Arde Duvant.
I know Duvant do.
A family in Seoul, the Duchess of Vendôme.
Is there any more help you can give us in talking to the founders?
We
have intentions towards the same cause.
She swallows dryly. I do not wish to cross the founders.
Can
Yeah,
you
that
tell
I
us where
believe
we
without
might
the bloody
find
truth spell.
them?
I do not wish to cross the founders.
What did they do to you?
Sorry, could you say that again?
What did they do to you?
Nothing to me, but
What did they do to other people?
traitors have vanished in the past.
Right.
And they hold their privacy of great import. That is information I cannot tell you.
Because you're afraid you'll disappear?
She doesn't answer.
Yes. Okay.
Well, yeah, so that's fair.
Well, I didn't imagine it was because you didn't know it.
If they, and I suppose besides, who knows, I might still get to leave with my back pay, have something to tide me over.
That's fair enough.
I don't think you could...
What else do you want to do?
I don't know. I will find another way, another project.
Well, if you're ever lost, we've got a couple of ships with quite a lot of lost people on them.
I get quite seasick.
Oh, I did too. It was awful. For like more than a month. You get over it, but getting over it isn't fun, and I can't pretend otherwise. Just, hair at a loose end. That's what our ships are sort of for.
I will attempt to negotiate the shortest non-combat competition clause I can in my severance, and in 20 to 30 years, perhaps, I will start my own institute. And perhaps with, yes, kinder means.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Because I don't think you quite understand how close you came and everyone you care about came to being one of those things.
She just reaches and massages her throat.
Remember that next time you have a bar of chocolate.
It comes in bars.
You do remember Pierre commenting about the idea of maybe making it in bar form.
And as such, I'm sticking by that. Out of character fuck up. Yeah. No siree, not at all.
We've seen too many near misses on apocalypses.
Yeah, it's getting scary.
It's just getting daft. One's scary, two is worrying, and then at this stage it's just like, oh look, there's another one
I have
coming.
to say, this one was particularly ridiculous.
Yeah, the fact it was cured by chocolate. Yeah.
Sensible is dead. Like, I just...
Like, next time there's a big disaster, we're going to throw chocolate at it, and everyone's going to look at us like we're stupid, and we'll just have to explain mid-disaster that it worked once.
And no one's going to believe us.
Nope, they're just going to think we're making excuses.
Not a single, but they're going to think we got really drunk or something.
It does make me wonder, though. Maybe this is to be discussed in private, actually.
Okay, I guess we talk about that one later.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that if you do, you'll change your methods. I was brought up on the idea that excellence is worth any amount of trauma. And I can assure you it's not.
As was I.
We're standing in living proof to the contrary.
And the thing is, with the whole trauma thing, you're going to have to watch out for that in the next couple of months. This was bad. This was really bad. You had a scary thing happen. And I don't wish bad reactions on you. But I do sort of hope that they'll make you think before traumatizing other people again.
Some of them. I regret leaving it in the hands of my recruiters to handle departures. Not all were reliable.
Snore was awful.
Some sent the letters they were supposed to send. Some did not. Others found other ways. I was focused on achieving results rather than the fine details of those methods.
If I may make a suggestion. A suggestion. Now that you're not focusing on the results, maybe before you leave, and as the handover is happening, might be a good time to help send some letters that didn't get sent. Secrecy can still be had.
Something.
You don't have to say exactly where they are, but what you could do is say they're safe and working on something excellent. You could ask people what they would want to say. Perhaps.
the knowledge that they are, well, I suppose I have time coming up. Perhaps a compromise can be found that does not betray the strict requirements of secrecy.
I think it can.
Yeah.
I had dreamed that when this was done, this place might become public.
Hey, it might.
I don't think this is the end.
It is for me. Have you further questions?
Anyone else?
I mean, probably, but it's been such a long 24 hours. I barely remember my name. That's a single syllable, I think. Yeah.
Well, I'm not telling you. I can't think of anything else.
Well then, I bid you good afternoon. She locks eyes with you, Celestia. I cannot tell you about the founders.
I cast Detect Thoughts. I'm just getting that vibe off her, that's what she wants.
You just hear, dive only for a moment.
I give like a really small nod.
She doesn't resist, and you plunge down for a moment into her memories. There is a little bit too intense, that one.
Hello!
The Kraken!
Something better than slightly wrong music, is there?
Slightly wrong music for that one. Wanted some tension there, but that was a little bit
We're in the middle of a battle.
Oh,
So.
God. There is a moment where
And roll initiative.
you find your... God, I can't seem to get the right music today. That's the problem with the randomly shuffled ones. Sometimes they're about right. Sometimes they're just a little bit wrong. There we go. Let's go for that. You feel yourself fall into her memories for a moment, and as the blurred, confused thoughts come to mind, you get just a few moments of her meeting someone, actually. I'm trying to think of how they would do this. Yeah. There are... So you see, she is standing on the steps of an impressive-looking mansion, almost. You just get a view of like a beautiful stone archway with fine like iron and silver gilt doors. They open, and actually, it's out. There's a moment where the door opens and you see a familiar silver-bearded dwarf woman answer the door from inside, snoring. Well, come in. Runecarver nods. Greetings. Are the founders present? You hear a voice, but it's strangely distorted. And she looks up, and there's an absence on the stairs, like just a black void, as if the memory isn't processing. And you hear the voice seems to go, "We are." Actually, this would be, we are. Welcome, Tina. It is an honour to be here. She says a word, but it's blanked. The memory is gone. May I ask This is Snora. She has recently come from one of our other projects to help assist with your work. She's also going to help ensure certain elements of our security in the future. Another voice goes, from the darkness goes, yes, we think it's going to be very useful moving forwards, just to ensure that we can keep all of this nice and secret. Of course, I understand. Now, come upstairs and we'll take care of I'd like you to report in on some of how things are going across the pond, as it were, before you make your way back. She starts going up the stairs, and you feel the memories start to disintegrate, but there's a moment where she glances against the wall, and there's rich, beautifully done interior, marble stairs, elaborate staircase, and amongst the portraits on the wall, some of the details of which are obscured, some of which are not, you catch a glimpse of a mirror, and reflected off the mirror, standing on the stairs, you catch just a glimpse of two dwarves. One blonde-haired female dwarf in black and gold, with a gold and ruby sort of beard ornament, set of beard ornaments, and one dwarf with dark brown hair and a silver beard ring set with blue topaz.
Fucking Golden Kratz and Guildenstern in it.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's
So
all
into
you
this.
get.
That would have been my other guess.
That's all you get before the memory just is erased. And you pull back out of her mind.
I just send her the quickest message. Thank you.
She doesn't respond, but goes back to eating her little fruit bowl. You step out and Lady Grace just moves for you to start walking across the grounds, just almost like a gentle path around the...
I have some things to tell you, but not till it's secure.
Right, yes.
Let's go somewhere quiet then.
Understood. Why don't we... Maybe not our assigned rooms. Why don't we pop to the beach and...
I was going to suggest
Viv, can you set up? Of course. You make your way to the beach and stand for a moment as if looking out at the sea while Viv casts the modified silence spell, and all the sound just blots out.
Fucking G&G.
Well, that
Well,
makes entirely too
it
much
does.
sense.
I don't know if that's better than worse than the hag.
Yeah.
Well, the question is, I mean, they're obviously playing the long game here, but what is their ultimate goal?
I don't know. I mean, could it just be excellence? Whatever that means. Or is
I could believe it, but it's
they have a lot of money.
it's not
There could be something
just
really big
yeah.
going
That's
on.
the thing. Well, they have excellence in one field. Maybe they're looking for excellence in another.
Well, excellence in the field they've got. They can pretty much buy excellence in any field.
Except that what they're trying to do here is create something that doesn't exist yet. They're trying to create new technologies. They're trying to push forward the bounds of what's possible.
I mean, the weird thing is, isn't it? They sound like they're technically on our side. But the methods are quite disturbing.
Yeah.
Hard to know what to do.
In a sort of the enemy of my enemy kind of way, yes.
The enemy of my enemy is still an asshole.
Perhaps they, too, are trying to change the world.
Well, I
And
understand.
that actually ties in with what I was going to say. It's like, you're absolutely right, Celestia, that this number of potentially world-ending things that have happened is ridiculous, but it does make me wonder, if there's any truth to our speculations that every time we avert something or someone else changes things
Possibly.
in order to compensate.
We need to sit down with Lady Grace here and properly explain this at some point, I think.
I'm talking obliquely here for reasons we don't need to necessarily go into right now, but
There will be time.
it's been on my mind is all I really need to
No, you have a point.
Yeah.
say.
Because it feels like, okay, we're trying to change the world, but G&G are trying to shape the world, and there's a difference. We're trying to just make things a bit better and stop it ending. They're trying to make it into what they want it to be.
What if what they want it
world
to
that
be
suits
isn't
them.
bad? That's this weird thing. Like they seem to be for
We
the
don't know
revolution.
that.
It's hard to know, you know.
They're playing a very long game. We don't know what their eventual goal is.
Yeah, is the rebellion and ending slavery and all that stuff, is that just part of some big plan for them? And what is that plan?
It
Is
could
that
be,
plan
yeah.
scary, or do they... Questions.
There's a level of control and power there that is worrying.
I mean, they have a lot.
That
They have
no one
banks
should have.
everywhere.
Yeah.
They've already got more than two people really should have.
All the currency is theirs.
Within the last
Yeah.
century, Golden Kratz and Guildenstern successfully created a near-universal monopoly on finance.
Yeah. Which is terrifying, really.
So it won't be long before they have a monopoly on weapons in the same way with these new guns.
Yeah.
That's concerning.
It is. It's very concerning.
Tech
It was scary enough when it was just some random people having the control. The fact that it's also the people who control the money.
Take it from someone who has lived a few centuries. Technological advantages are an edge that evaporate if you cannot stay on top of them.
Yeah,
Sooner or later, it is much easier to copy what exists than to bring together something
that
new.
is true.
This is probably their gambit, at least for now. Where we are, here, now. This fight. This will be a fulcrum upon which the future turns. And, as I have said to you, it is my goal to change the future.
We have that in common.
Agreed.
Until we find otherwise, it may be prudent. Continue looking, but it may be prudent to accept their help through this channel.
Oh, well, we don't have a choice but to accept these guns and do this deal, let's be honest.
Yeah.
That's not up for debate.
I would really like to know what their ultimate goal is, though.
I think that's going to take us some time. Also, they're not going to have done anything in a scribal location.
Unfortunately,
Exhausting.
once you reach once you are dealing with opponents with a certain amount of wealth, it is just practical to purchase sanctum enchantments for every residence you own.
And probably get a necklace for yourself or whatever.
Surprisingly
They have the money to do
difficult
that.
to get hold of non-detection necklaces.
Oh, if you want to get yourself some blood magic, it's good shit. Sorry, that was
Well,
stupid.
you say that.
Blood magic?
Yeah. Can't scry on me.
There was a person in the woods.
Yeah, with like a shrimpy thing.
So you've rendered yourself permanently unscryable.
Yep. I mean, somebody else technically gave me the enchantment, but I sort of blood alchemy. I can turn it off if I want to.
Useful,
Yeah,
if need be.
but it stays on if I'm not thinking about it. It's like like clenching your bum hole, you know.
Quite. Treasure that such abilities and such artifacts as necklaces
I genuinely thought you meant treasure.
Despite herself, you see Lady Grace like twitch a
I was
little
really
bit.
worried about you and your bowels for a second there.
I am not that old.
I was gonna say,
I
I'm
love the tone. It's my
surprised.
specialty. It's been a really that was a really tense thing. I get like this after things are tense. Sorry, please carry on.
Surprisingly endearing. I would say then, no, treasure that ability. Such things as necklaces of non-detection.
I can hear Robbie losing it over the speaker.
I can't stop thinking about Lady Grace.
Treasure your ability to not cheat yourself.
You look over, Viv is put a hand over her mouth, like slightly behind Lady Grace, trying not to snigger open. She's like
Okay, I'm
bent
gonna roll to see
over,
if Corzin.
double with laughter.
He holds it.
Oh, this is unusual.
I'm sorry.
You ruined everything. What is wrong with you?
Treasure your non-detection ability,
I will.
Please stop saying treasure.
because there are less than a dozen of such necklaces in the world.
What?
Ow.
Bloody hell.
There were a set made for dwarven royalty.
Oh.
Some were stolen, some were sold, and some remain in the lines of those monarchs. But their like has not been made since.
I mean, of course my mum's got one. That fucking makes sense, doesn't it? Ugh.
Rather. Be interesting to know
Stop
where
thinking
she
about
got
people's bowels. You fuck me up.
Well, that is a...
it. Genuinely. If we,
Sorry, Corzin. What were you going to say, darling?
I was going to say, it'd be interesting to know where and when she got it, because that might actually tell us something about, well, firstly, its origins, but also what she had to do in order to get it. Because if it's that rare, then she must have had to have gone to some extreme lengths in order to get it.
Oh, I mean, she's got loads of money. Loads.
Yeah, that's probably part of it, but also...
Also, she could have just
Well,
murdered
this
some
isn't
people.
a money thing.
It would be...
We know this isn't a money thing, otherwise G&G would have them, and we know they don't because we done a scry on them.
That was kind of what I was saying as well. Like, it can't have just been money.
It would certainly be
It would have had
much
to have
more
been
convenient
ingenuity.
than having Viv follow me everywhere and cast non-detection. No offence, Viv. None taken.
And Viv knows when she isn't actually wanted, you know.
Hey, if you off... Hey, I'm just saying, if you can double my salary, you still won't take it. Well, no, but I'd like to get the offer. Regardless, that is perhaps a thought for another time. I suspect that I should return to taking control, well, restoring control here, and perhaps it might be worth you catching up with the friends or old contacts you have here, because as soon as possible we are going to need to make our way back.
We need to hurry.
Yeah.
Agreed.
We didn't negotiate it, but I'm sure you can certainly ask Administrator Hallraiser for a few things.
I think
We
he'd
are
be
owed
open to
some
that.
rewards anyway.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
I will leave you to such.
worth having a chat about.
Definitely.
She tends to leave, pauses, comes back. You were kinder than I would have been. Well done.
Thank you.
She turns with Viv and leaves.
It was hard. That woman is an arsehole.
He's a real arsehole.
Sometimes being kind is the hardest thing you have to do.
So much harder than clenching your
Stop talking about bum holes. What's wrong with you? I said
the
bum
sound-
holes once.
The silent spell breaks, and like that's the first thing everyone around hears. And you just hear Viv sniggering openly to herself as the pair of them walk away. And as all three of you are caught in paroxysms of giggling on the beach, we're going to pull away and return after these, no doubt, important messages.
Writes down on giggling about bum holes.
Are you feeling low, bound up, or just a little bit washed out? Try Flintlocks and Fireballs. Sometimes in life we all face loads we just can't seem to shift. Is this you? Are you perhaps dealing with one at this very moment? Well, like, rate, share, and subscribe to Flintlocks and Fireballs, write us a review on iTunes, and check out our Patreon. I promise, the results will speak for themselves.
And welcome back. So, as you leave the beach, where do you want to head next?
Do I want to do friends next, or do we want to talk to Eurus next?
Well, Eurus is both, but I did say I'd stop by the gun stuff place. I feel a bit bad if I don't do that, if I'm just wandering around not doing that.
Let's do that next.
Okay. The three of you make your way to the foundry. In particular, you can see a few things going on. Part of the skeleton staff that are there, not a skeletal staff, but the minimalistic amount of staff needed.
Disappointing.
To distinguish.
They don't have necromancers on staff here. Although it would solve a lot of labour issues. Are busy loading up crates and crates, which look like they are due to be loaded into... Actually, you can see them being carried into the shipyard, where there is a fourth, much smaller boat. It's interesting. It is made of wood. It is very low to the water. Probably, you would guess, Corzin, looking at it, it's deep drafted, so it's not meant for river travel, or at least not rivers without deep bottoms. It's probably meant to travel along the coast. And it is kind of the size of a large... It's a barge if you shortened it and deepened it. And it has a very low profile in the water. It's not a submersible, but it doesn't rise up much more than a riverboat, like than a narrowboat. There is no sail. There is, however, one of those wooden water wheels that you saw under construction on the larger iron skins. And what looks like a small pipe with a little hood on it and a grill at the top. And the crates and crates are being loaded into this. You do see someone you recognise there as well. That would be Tolo, actually. Tolo, who actually doesn't seem to be supervising. He's just taking a bit of a break and looking out to sea and looking over it and admiring it as you come by. Gives you a wave. Oh.
I return it.
Oh, there. Good to see you all together. Didn't actually...
Got a new person for having a good night's sleep.
Oh, glad to hear you made it.
Yeah, how are you? Are you okay?
Oh, I'm looking forward to getting some sleep when it comes to it, but they're just grabbed all the together hands we can. I'm on a bit of a break, and then I'm going to carry on helping with just loading things.
What do we have here?
We have... let me just check. I believe it is... 3,000... 3,000 rifles and associated rounds of ammunition.
wonder it's so low in the water.
Aye, this is one of actually, one of the projects Eurist oversaw. It's not going to be as defensible as the big ones I can see they've been working on. You see, it definitely lacks the iron hull, but it's a little stealth smuggling ship. No sails, much lower profile to the water. Doesn't rely on the wind.
So, is it those wheels that sort of paddle it?
Aye.
How does that work? Wheels on water doesn't make any sense.
I didn't think so at first, but I have watched them give this thing a couple of test runs on moonless, cloudy nights.
I've seen water turning wheels on mills before, but...
Same principle in reverse.
Yeah, but that's water turning a wheel, not the wheel turning the water.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Well, the thing is, we've actually got a bonfire burning under that thing.
Ooh.
Well, when it's lit.
Ooh.
It's like the little steam engine you saw. You cranked up to the library.
Oh, so that drives the wheels around?
Aye, just about enough torque to keep this thing pushing forwards. It's not fast. Can't keep track with an actual frigate or anything, but it'll get there over 3 nights to Newmark without being seen.
Nice.
And I suppose if it doesn't need the wind, then it could go, if slowly in a straight line when a frigate is dead in the water.
Exactly.
Also, if it runs itself, I don't know. That's quite a consistent movement, isn't it?
Aye, we've had this was the modified original prototype we had as far as I understand. Eurist and Helga would know more, but
I'm going to be out of a job.
I was going to say that if there's no sails to actually deal with, that must cut the crew cost down dramatically.
Aye, you could run this thing with about the crew of the barge.
Just seems so weird that a ship runs on fire, because one of the first things everybody tells you when you get on a ship is fire is really bad.
It's literally one of the worst things that can happen on a ship.
So it just seems so strange to me that this ship needs fire to go.
We got buckets of sand right next to the boiler.
That makes a lot of
For that
sense.
reason.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations, you're sane. But, Corzin would...
little Corzin would shit himself.
is not seeing this.
We'll draw him a picture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or, you could do a dream and make him one.
That'd be a great idea.
That could be fun.
Alright, I'm going to have a good look at this then.
Yeah, well, feel free to take a little bit of time looking it over. In fact, Corzin, you can stay and take a little bit of time looking it over while Scamp and optionally also Celestia make their way to the foundry.
What's at the foundry? Which one are we going to see? I've
where
forgotten. I'm going to actually just ask Scamp. The foundry was to go see Werold, wasn't it?
Yeah, she asked me to pop by.
Alright. Do you want to do that alone?
I don't know. Maybe?
Well, I wanted to offer you the option. Fine by me either way, obviously.
I feel a bit weird about the whole thing, but also... There's no harm you being around. It's reassuring having you nearby.
Nearby or there?
I don't know. Maybe nearby for now.
Alright, well, I'll
That's
find...
easier to change my mind.
Cool, I'll find
It's easier
somewhere...
to say come over than go away.
Absolutely. I'll find somewhere not that far away and have a little chill time, fuck about on my guitar for a bit and just be, within reasonable distance if you need me.
Thank you.
That's alright.
You make your way over to the foundry. The foundry is pretty quiet for compared to how it was yesterday. No one almost no one is in a state to be doing manufacturing right now. But there are a few people there, and one of them is World, who you can see has been examining one of her distinctive revolving chamber weapons. Oh, Scamp. There you go.
Hey,
Oh,
how you doing? Are you alright?
it's certainly been one of the weirder mornings. But,
Yeah.
you know, when you get to my age, you learn to take these things in stride. Speaking of age, come here. Now, ordinarily, it'd be a beard ring or beard jewelry, but you don't have a beard. I
Not a permanent one.
can't remember if halflings. I can't remember if tieflings grow beards or not. So, in case you never get a beard, I made you something else instead. She unfolds a bit of leather, and you can see inside there is a silver arm ring. With basically just like a little twist of metal which coils into two little spirals at the end, with a bit of simply done engraving, literally just reading a small. It's a small bit of classical dwarven text that loosely translates wishes that you may always be your best. Holds out the piece of piece of leather with it on. Should be about sized for your arms. You can always get it stretched out if you put a bit more arm muscle on.
That doesn't seem likely, but thank you. It's beautiful.
Well, suppose if my cousin had kept you on, it would have been the sort of thing that he would have probably sorted out, and, well, one should have a mark of coming of age.
Thank you.
It's all right.
I mean, it was probably for the best, all in all. I mean, things got weirder once you were gone, and things started exploding unexpectedly. I had a bit of disaster in a shop after a while, but
That's true. Perhaps finding your best, and finding the way to be your best is a different path, but I suppose the question is, how different are you now to when you started out? When you left Scarrow's Cove.
I mean, there's a lot that's different. There's a lot that's changed, but I think at the heart of it, I'm still me.
And are you happy with those changes and with the core of you?
Some of them. There's some that I worry about.
Well, that's why we temper steel. There's always going to be bits that are impurities and bits of the grain that aren't going the right way, and well, that's what the hammer's for. And heat. And it's, getting your steel to run true can take your whole life. But you have it. Just never stop forging.
I won't.
She claps you on the shoulder.
And if you need anything, you get in touch. Get one of them sending mages to call me, because I don't know who I'd be if you hadn't been there.
I imagine you'd be you. You just wouldn't know anything about smithing.
There's like, sometimes you look at things that happened and there are moments that could have changed who you became.
Aye.
And at the core of it, yeah, I'm still me, but if little things had been different, I'd be a different version of me, and I don't think I'd have liked the one that didn't know you as much.
Ah, well, that brings me some comfort. The same could be true to be said of me if I hadn't wound up on this path. I wouldn't have met the man I intend to propose to. When the time's right.
When the time's right. I mean, let me know if there's going to be a wedding, because I will be there.
Oh, well, I'll make sure to keep you informed. He was saying last night he wanted to have a word with the three of you. I think there's something to get off his chest.
Okay. Well, we're going to go find him soon, so...
That commandant intimated a promotion of sorts.
Yeah. I mean, you've got an administrator here who is... we don't think they're doing things right, so, you know.
Clearly not. Well...
Might be time for a change.
It's hard to see when your own steel is flawed.
Yeah. That's very true.
Well,
lots of good steel metaphors to be had.
Sorry, hazard of the job.
Oh no, they're good ones.
You sort of hammer them out over time. Now, time
This
for you.
explains such a lot about Scamp.
Time for you to forge onwards. I'm sure you've got other things you need to do besides keep this old woman company.
Yeah, but you look after yourself, won't you?
You too. And you look after
And you need
those
me
two.
cool. Oh, I'll try. They're disasters.
Yeah. Celestia's like nearly
And tell your
snapped a string
monkey.
in the distance.
Tell your monkey to stop trying to poke his head into the fire. He's already singed himself twice.
Oh, he's the only sensible one among us, I'm afraid. Jeffrey, come along. He was so good during the interrogation discussion thing. Jeffrey. I know. Marjorie, keep an eye. Sorry to put the responsibility on you again.
Marjorie just fixes one beady yellow eye. on Corzin. One on Corzin, one on Jeffrey. Just like tilting her head.
Impressive, considering we left Corzin in the other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Corzin just barely visible through a series of in between all the crates being stacked up.
Because it
It's
feels
like an
he's being
impressive
watched,
squint.
doesn't know how.
Okay. He'll Roll to kind of extends a hand and
I take it.
gives you a firm squeeze and goes, right, off with you. Someone's got to get this place in order.
Good luck.
She's already focused on her work again. This is not unfamiliar from the time you were spent together.
Yeah.
The pair of you then, I guess, connect up with
Just
Corzin.
with the pipe hanging out of her mouth. It's like, so you done?
Yeah.
How did it go?
Good. Yeah. Look what I got.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yep.
Very fancy.
Means I'm a grown up now.
Look at you having like exciting grown-up jewellery and things. Very exciting. Was she nice to you then?
Yeah.
Good. Oh, well done.
Huh. Just feel a bit strange now.
Not surprised. It's a weird thing. But
Yeah.
she was nice though. Helps.
Definitely. Just not used to it. Not something I usually get.
Ugh.
Everything's always open and weird.
Open and weird?
Just like nothing ever gets closure. Like, I've got a mysterious parent who maybe it's been turned into a book but is definitely dead. There's the other one who's just a crazy pirate lady. And then there's the whole thing with 7 skulls, and we've got like 4 of them, but I don't know where the others are.
All of them your dad? Like, we don't know. Yeah.
Am I my dad? I don't know who I am, really. I don't think
Horrifying.
this was my body originally.
You lost me a
So
little
who am
bit.
I?
It turned into a book. Who turned into a book?
Oh, not a book, a map more than that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there we go.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty convinced that the map was definitely related. It's just, there's a whole thing that's a problem. But it's all open and stupid instead of closure and...
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all pretty open and stupid. What if you're your dad? What do we do in that situation?
I don't know.
What do we do with that information if you are? What's the plan there?
I don't know. I think that's unlikely, but it's possible. What if Fred's my dad? And what if I'm not actually that child because
Oh,
that
God.
child's dead and moved on?
I'm really glad to hear you say what if Friend's your dad, because I've been thinking it for ages and I haven't wanted to say it. It's been
Same.
really hard.
And what? How is there like a sea of fire with a creepy boat on it, but that's a real thing, not just a nightmare? Like,
Oh, I can assure you it is a fucking nightmare. It's awful, but you know.
But it's a thing I see in my nightmares.
Well, the
but
ship's
it's a
bigger
real
on the
place that we
inside.
have to go.
So, you know, it is a place that we have to go, and I really don't want to, 'cause it's got all the least
wanna go
favourite
there.
things. But, you know, I love you, so we'll go.
Ugh.
Should I go?
Should we go see Corzin?
Yes, let's go. Some more tobacco in a pipe.
Corzin, you've just about finished eyeing up this sort of prototype steam paddler, for want of better words. Yeah, like kind of an approving level. You can, for parts of you can definitely imagine how you could extend it out to a larger kind of structure. And you've been idly talking with one of the other scientists you haven't really met yet, one of the engineers working on it, is who, seeing that you clearly know about the Iron Skins, has just been commenting, "Oh, absolutely. I mean, like, if I can solve the torque issues, like, it can take a lot of weight. That's what we've been hoping with the steel on the sides and that sort of thing."
Yeah, I suppose we've got a lot more life in them. So you just did you just scale them up for the bigger ones?
Yeah, but we started running into problems with making the engines, and there's leaking issues. Like scaling is like a whole project. Like you wouldn't actually believe how much trouble we had to get into just to get it from like the toy version we initially made that was like in a little duck pond up to this one, and then we've run into it looks like your friends are waving at you.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you. This is fascinating, you know.
Oh, yeah. It's like once the once the non-disclosures and everything are over, I have half a mind to start going into business with them. But to begin with, I suppose it's all for war efforts and all that.
Well, look forward to seeing how it works.
Hey, it's going to be a while till we've got the big guns finished.
Bigger than this.
How did it go?
Look at Scamp.
Good. I'm a grown-up now.
Well, they're all fancy now. They've grown ahead of us.
Well, that's impressive.
Yeah, no, it was nice. It was...
I'm really pleased.
Yeah.
I was sure that that it would go okay, but it's nice to be vindicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have fun nerding about ships.
Yes, it's a fascinating concept, but I think I'd really have to see it in action.
Okay, where do you want to head next?
Let's go see Eurus.
Yeah.
Okay, you make your way to the administrator's building, where you are ushered into Runecarver's office, where you can see Eurus has like a lot of files around, and is moving between kind of looking through them and doing the same dance that Lady Grace was doing earlier of giving orders to various security members and staff. Looks up. Good to see you. Right, can you take those around to Lab 42? Take care. There's someone waiting for there. Can you check in with the cleric and the clinic? Thank you. All right. Just give us 10 minutes. If it's urgent, knock on the door. Otherwise, a bit of time, please. Okay. Thank you. The various people kind of vacate the office, and he looks up. Sorry about that. Could you close
Are you settling in?
There's a lot to get to grips with. Fortunately, I know the place pretty well. Could you close the door behind you?
Sure.
Thanks. Okay. I've been meaning to talk with the three of you. There's business to discuss. First things first. How's Benny?
She's doing well. Last I heard in Sunder's watch.
Oh, on this side of things.
Yeah, I came over here to sort of half look for you, actually.
Yes. If
came
you
with
can,
us.
please get in touch with her.
I'll certainly may figure out a way. You can see he's got little spectacles of his own on. Everyone apparently just needs reading glasses when they're really tired. This is not all a reflection of myself. And takes them off. Rubs his eyes for a moment. So...
I mean, I can send if you want that, or...
I have... if you could convey my wishes if you see before the sendings get there, but we have... I'll get Marcos to take care of it once there's a slot available.
Alright.
I need to tell her this myself, and preferably in person, rather than over a sending.
Fair enough.
Since you brought her all this way and came and
She wanted to come.
Thank you. You should probably know ahead of time. I'm not proud of it, but I was stealing her work and passing it off as my own.
Arsehole move.
Yep. I was concerned about losing my position and wanted to look impressive, and I regret that.
That's why they kidnapped you rather than her.
Then it's your duty to tell her.
Because
she idolised you. She looked up to you.
She missed you when you were gone.
Aye,
And she deserves to know the truth.
She does. And I'll tell her in person. That's not something to do over sending.
I understand, but make sure you do it sooner rather than later, because there's a lot coming which I think is going to, one way or another, ensure that Benny is very busy in the near future.
Aye. I'll find a way to visit her or get her to come here. Whichever we can organise, but...
She's an incredible person.
Yeah.
And a fucking genius.
She's at that.
She's doing stuff that none of us understand.
She caught lightning with a bit of string.
Yeah.
Like, her, with the resources of this place, is something I
Kinda
would dearly
scary.
love to see.
I don't know.
I would... Truthfully, I would like to recruit her under my terms. I am getting a feeling that things have, from looking through these reports, that things have been a little bit less clean than I would like, and than I was led to believe.
It's been quite nasty.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, she got nothing about where you'd gone.
Well,
Nobody did.
It looked like a kidnapping.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a kidnapping, but it looked a lot more violent than...
It looked very nasty, actually. We assumed something quite bad had happened to you until we sent to you that time.
I see.
As did she. She was very worried.
I was informed differently, but of course we all were.
Yeah. As far as we can tell from the other administrators, some letters might have been sent, but there were an awful lot that weren't.
Indeed. It seems there's been a lot of what you might call subcontracting going on. It's going to take me days and weeks and probably months eventually to get to the bottom of it all, but not the way I intend to run things.
Glad to hear it.
Are you going to try and get some letters sent?
It seems that there's people on top as well that I'm going to need to placate. I'm not looking forward to that meeting.
Good luck.
Mysterious founders. Seems that we are one portion of... Her personal journals refer to it as the five-pointed star.
Yeah, it makes me wonder what the other points are. I've got to wonder.
No.
That's,
The Institute is one. The manufacturer is another. The shipping company would be a third. Presumably, the founders, whoever they are, she's not being explicit about mentioning names, would be a fourth.
So who's the fifth? Or what's the fifth?
Presumably some other arm, but that I have not found yet, and if it is buried in this, it's going to be buried. This is from me spending about 6 hours just skimming intensively.
If you do find anything, we would be really interested to know.
Yeah.
Like, really interested.
Of course.
Make saving the country and possibly the world interested, if we're honest. It'd be really
'Cause
helpful.
They're all connected but separate from each other. So if we know, how each of them connects to each other, I wonder how they manage to orchestrate things with things so disparate and spread out like this.
I imagine they probably have some capable administrators. They occasionally will send messages directly via sendings, it appears, or other methods.
Well, if that's the case, then you're going to be the first port of call, then.
That would appear to be the case. See, provided I am confirmed as their replacement. Which means, once again, I am going to have to toe the line of middle management and try to keep my bosses satisfied enough to fix things.
Well, good luck.
Don't envy you there.
I worked for Oscar Schwartz for a long time. I'm familiar with dancing that particular dance.
That sounds like you have the experience.
Yeah, just make sure that you manage to maintain more of a conscience than your predecessor did.
Aye.
Yes, please.
Speaking of conscience, I don't know how I'm going to make it up to Benny, and I don't know if I can, but I will do what I can. It was foolish of me, and I betrayed her trust.
Yeah, all of the above. She deserved better.
Well,
But you seem to know that.
unfortunately, to borrow one of Helga's incessant steelworking phrases, takes 5 times the work to hammer out a dent. But
True, but at least now you've got the opportunity to at least start making things right.
aye.
She deserves it.
Speaking of deserving, then, I think that's been covered pretty solidly. I understand you were promised a reward for, saving my hide.
Yes, huge reward. I've no idea. I was going to say we were promised loads of things, but I couldn't really think of anything, so I've got to give up on that immediately. Yeah.
Well, what would you like?
Some items
A
from the vault would
huge
be useful.
reward. We've got all the guns that are available, but a bit of cash and some cannons. Cannons. Can you do cannons?
Can you
Yes.
do
We've
We've got
cannons?
a boat needs cannons.
We can do you about enough cannons if we do take them off the frigate for to equip another frigate.
Ah, that would be lovely.
All right.
Yep.
I will see about getting those. It's going to be an interesting one to do. No, I think we should be able to manage. If you can source the frames on your end, we can just we can dismount the actual cannon, tubes themselves.
Just
Stack
need
them up.
woodworkers for that. I think I can do it.
That should be easy enough to do, and we'll get that. And we should just about be able to get that onto the little stealth craft that we've got headed out.
We also have to work cut out for them, but I'm sure they're up to it.
Oh, I'd love it.
I worked on that. We over-engineered the damn thing. It should be fine. Just about. So, cannon, you'll have that, and you wanted items from the vault. I would see, if you want cash as well.
Well, I don't know what we need, really. These are just the ideas I had off the top of my head.
Well, cash wouldn't hurt the revolution.
Take 2 items, and I can get you £4,000.
That's
Definitely
a
something.
bit of a ship, isn't it?
Yep. That's
Yeah, how much did we owe Benny for?
If you wanted to get the second-hand one that Benny knew about, I think it was 12,000. total.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a start.
very
How
much.
far along were we in that? Did we have?
Can't remember. We
paid
had
anything?
some.
You have, I think, about $6,000 at the moment between you. I don't have your.
I mean, we've been putting the big numbers in the
Yeah.
ship, which I think Sam has.
Yeah.
Yeah, hang on. I can tell you.
Yeah.
Here we are. We have banked 11,620.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're doing good.
Yep.
So actually, that
That
takes
should
us up
get
to a
us
ship
enough.
plus a bit more.
Yep.
Yep.
And get that
Okay.
second-hand fifth.
Perhaps we should give Scamp some of it because Scamp has had gold in the longest fucking time. Like maybe we should give ourselves a little bit this time because we're all running out.
We can divide amongst ourselves. That seems reasonable.
Yeah,
Just a word
sure.
of warning: when you're running a self-employed business, make sure to pay yourself.
Yeah, we've
especially if
been
you're
forgetting that for a
employers.
little bit. Other things have been pressing.
It's a surprisingly easy thing to overlook somehow. I don't know exactly how that happens, but it always seems.
Oh no, I completely understand. You're always thinking about the finances of your business itself, and you forget to give yourself a wage.
Every single person in the scene looks at the camera. Pay your freelancers, says Celestia.
Yeah.
It's the real moral of Flintlocks and Fireballs. Pay your fucking freelancers.
Flintlocks and Fireballs.
Flintlocks and freelancers that are paid.
Historically inspired settings. Adventure. Cogent business advice.
Fair contracts of employment.
Unionize. Really. If you have a union, they're very important.
They really are.
Yeah.
Yep. Support your unions.
But that's for campaign 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll discuss later. I'll get to the conflict between labour and capital then. We're not there yet. Right. Fair enough. 4,000. That's what I have in the kitty on hand. I can get that to you pretty much within the next hour.
You're amazing.
And obviously, if you need more, I suppose you can probably find a buyer for either of those artifacts that you don't want yourself.
Cracking. So it's out of character, 2 artifacts.
2 artifacts.
2 artifacts. Cool.
A ship's worth of cannon and 4 grand.
Cool.
For saving.
Can we spend a little
making a
time
note.
with the artifacts to figure out what they do before we commit to one?
Yes.
No, that's fine.
That would be great.
Take as much time as you need. I know that you need to be off soon enough, but I don't mind you taking a couple of hours.
Yeah, we
Cool.
won't be
Thank you.
ages, but yeah, we could do with having a look.
Not to worry. That elf you're with,
Yes?
bossy, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yes.
Has
Competent.
leadership skills, I think.
Aye.
Scarily competent.
You like her much?
She gets things done. I can respect that.
Yeah, I think that's more to the point in this particular instance.
Oh, goodness knows there's enough fires to put out. Unfortunately, not literally. Although that reminds me, I'm going to have to arrange to have the entire sprinkler system flushed and replenished.
Or,
You look up, you can see there's a sprinkler which is just caked with brown. Large
Oh,
sections of
gross.
the room show signs of having been scrubbed recently, possibly with magic in
Desks a bit
places.
scuffed up.
Yeah, possibly with not. A lot of the institute is actually still covered in drying chocolate.
The smell of chocolate. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like a thin layer, but
Oh, it's gonna be so weird when it rains.
oh yeah, it's fortunately been a sunny day thus far. But
I like chocolate sludge.
yeah,
Yeah.
you glance out of the window, you see a very pretty look upon Tully's Scourer just sweeping and mopping.
Oh god.
No.
Oh, that's sad.
Any other business?
Oh,
Really?
probably. Goodness knows what, though.
All right then. Thank you for a lot of things.
Do better with Benny this time round, yeah.
Aye.
She deserves it.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't exploit people just because they're nice and trusting.
No, that's not the way to excellence.
No.
And you shouldn't exploit people even if they're assholes, really. It's not
No.
the way to do it.
Yeah, you're right, actually. Just don't exploit people is probably like a better sentiment.
Point
Don't
taken.
base your morality on whether or not someone's a dick.
I'll take that one into advisement. I've known a lot of dicks.
Oh, that's
Sorry, the look Jason just did when he said that. Just like, he just gave me this really like flat look. And a lot of dicks.
Well, unless there's anything else, I have
1,000 things to do.
at least.
so many
I
things.
don't think so.
Good luck. This is
you.
horrifying.
Thank you. You as well. Oh, ancestors be with you.
I don't know what you say back to
And
that,
with
but
you.
good luck.
Good luck, does it? You make your way out, and at this point, yeah, if you what you want to do with your time is yours. If there's anyone else that you want to check in with or say anything to, you can. Otherwise, you can just head to the vault and take your pick of artifacts. And I have to give you a reminder.
I mean,
of what
we
you have
should
happen.
check in with the nightmares
Helga.
person.
Yeah, I want to check in
Enya,
with Helga.
yep.
Enya, yep.
Uh,
I can't talk, I'm sorry, ignore me.
You find Enya, who has also had some sleep. By the time you head back to the refectory, where they're attempting to put together a slightly more, just continuously putting out more of these pancakes and like quick to make foods, you can see slightly haggard-eyed looking Enya is helping herself to scones. Looks like drop scones and butter. Oh. Ooh. Good to see you.
Hello. How are you
Hi.
doing?
Knackered.
That seems fair.
Oh.
Oh, got me doing it now. Ah.
Yawns are catching. I really don't know what we came here to say. What were we
Just
going
to see it.
There's a brief moment where you see that, and she goes, "Hey, it's night. Thank you for dropping by."
We just wanted to check in because, you
Bad
seem like
night.
you've been having big,
Yeah.
scary dreams and...
Oh, they were a riot. That much is for sure. But
Oh, were they worse last night?
about as much as you'd expect after the morning's events. But
Makes sense. The offer is still open.
and I'm very happy to take you up on it.
I can probably pop in during my not watch, demonstrably not watch, because I'll be asleep. I can probably pop in tonight if you want.
Great. I'll try and get to bed at a reasonable time.
As long as nothing crazy happens. And I use up all my spells, but hopefully not. We'll see. If you don't see me, assume I'm coming the next night.
You see Enya surreptitiously reach to the side of the table and touch one of the wooden legs as you say this.
Do the same thing. Very good idea. Insurance, you know?
Well, it's been a pleasure.
It really has.
Likewise.
Oh,
We'll have to come back and see what that piece becomes.
aye.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, picks up a sketchbook that's beside her. You see she's had some charcoal pencils. Carefully tears 3 pages, 4 pages, and hands each of the 3 of you a sketch, just a quick sketch from memory of each of you.
She's good.
She is good.
It's like a literal professional artist, like drawing someone from memory.
Yeah.
It's like an insane skill that I just don't understand.
Dwarven pursuit of excellence.
But people can, though. That's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there are people who can do
Yeah.
this. I'm just not one of
It's
them.
just like, oh. And one of Jeffrey, Marjorie, and Stormy.
Oh, Jeffrey! Look, Jeffrey!
Ooh.
Jeffrey, like, narrows his eyes at the version of himself, like, extends his spear threateningly.
Jeffrey!
I think
We
they
talked
put the
about the
likeness
difference
brilliantly.
between pictures and real. This is picture.
Puts down the spear, glances suspiciously at the picture.
Got my hair excellently.
Are we going to have to go over this again, Jeffrey?
It was lovely. Thank you.
It's all right.
I wish I could draw one back, but it'd be a sad little stick figure.
Just play me a tune.
Right.
Fuck, I just notes to self, song for.
Yeah. Yep, we have to write an Enya song now.
We'll
I'll write
see.
you a song and I'll play it. What was that?
We'll see.
I'll write you a song and I'll play it at some point when I next see you. Whatever that will be.
Much appreciated. She gives you a nod and kind of picks up a cup of black coffee and raises it to you in a little salute.
Raise a cup of whatever we have back, probably also black coffee.
Yeah. Scamp has chocolate.
Always.
Although you have to make your own. All of the chocolate supplies are currently being requisitioned just for emergency use.
Fair. Can't just have people licking walls. So, you know. You've got
That'd
to do
be a
something.
bit weird and probably unsanitary.
You
Probably.
literally used up their entire chocolate supply.
We did, yeah. For very good
For
reason.
very good reasons, but still. Okay. This being done then,
I don't think we have any other questions for her, really.
and not really anyone else to see. You get
Write
a
down
couple of
dream
people.
to Enya.
A couple of people you pass along the way give you a nod or a smile. You see Sylvia tucking into at the end of what looks like at the end of a shift, drinking black coffee and munching on pancakes. Gives you a little salute from where she's sitting, and even Pierre just like raises a hand. Farewell. When next we meet, I shall have bars of chocolate.
I look forward to it.
What a concept. Yes. It's
see.
a challenge when we next meet. It has to happen.
Looking in the distance, or at least some sort of spread.
Now here's the vision.
Could be into that.
You make your way down to. Actually, I think Sylvia probably gets up upon realizing where you're going, and just accompanies you down to the vault with taking a coffee with her, unlocking it so that you can make your way in.
How's Sylvia looking? Is she okay?
Knackered, absolutely knackered.
Oh,
But
no.
like knackered as someone who's been cured from being a zombie, and then has pulled a full shift at work. Because at the end, it's like
Oh.
doing one last job as a favour.
Ouch.
But she does lead you down to take your choice of two objects. So the possible objects are the teleport platform.
I mean, can we take that? Like,
I mean, like it would be difficult to take, but you could ask them to stick it on the stealth barge.
I really think
could
that
we?
would be useful to have access to.
You also just if you want to make any deals with Eurist, you can. You can always go back and ask anything. If you wanted to leave it here or anything like that instead.
I've been leaving it outside of Sanctum might be really nice.
yeah.
Even just in case.
Yeah, maybe. Equally, though, then we have to tell him what it does.
Do we?
No, we don't.
No, but
he
he'll
can
figure
guess
it
what
out.
it does. He can
I mean, when we
probably
turn up on it, yeah, but
Yeah.
we can't
I
just
dunno,
leave it in.
I'd
Where are
rather,
we going to put it?
I don't know, I'd just rather take it
Somewhere where it's not next to the big research centre full of fucking wizards and shit.
But it's not full of wizards. They've got wizards, but it ain't the focus.
There's like 4 wizards.
But the focus is moving technology on. It's a pretty big leap.
Yeah, but
G&G.
where are we going to put it that's safe?
I don't know.
It's too big for us just to... I don't think it's safe to have on the boat. Either of them.
Well, no, we need to have it somewhat like... Could it be stored safely at the battery or something like that?
And if the battery falls, we defended it once, but it is
Yeah.
a big old target.
It really is. Also, it's obviously sanctumed.
And that place is full of spies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anywhere you can put it, or do you have any allies you trust with it?
The other option is Leah and Michael.
That would be useful.
Yeah.
I think what you were saying the other day, though, about having one on this side of the ocean would be really, really useful.
It really
Yeah.
would. And
We can get back to Jover as quickly as we need to. If we can get to and from, that is a complete game changer.
Leah and Michael
Yeah.
might not be a bad option.
No.
Because I don't think they're imminently in danger of being invaded the way the battery is.
No.
And if no
and
one
definitely
knows
not.
they have it,
And we can trust them, definitely.
yes.
Yeah. And Leah already knows what it does.
She does.
So they're not a liability
And Michael
in
won't
that
really
sense.
care, so... so, you know. Just might be a good option, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's our best one thus far.
I just something about leaving it here with the revelations that we've had today of who runs it.
Oh no, yeah, it
Yeah, no,
worries me.
it's... If anything, it's reinvigorated my my desire to get it out of here.
Now the question is, how the fuck do we get it to Leah and Michael's?
Well,
Do
we're
you
going
think
to
we
have
could
to
make a
go
deal
back-
with them?
We're going to have to go back to Earthlander's Watch at some point anyway, which is most of the way there. If we can arrange to have them come and pick it up at that point, or take it directly to them.
Yeah, we'd need some sort of like big old fucking covered wagon with a big massive guard.
Yep. But I think that's probably our best bet.
Maybe we'll talk to Eurist about it and see if he
Yeah, see what's
comes
the
up with
best
any
option,
miraculous institute with loads of money ideas of how he could help.
But in the meantime, we need to pick another thing.
We do.
Alright, so what we got?
As much as the singing sword is hilarious, it's probably not actually useful.
You have the singing sword, which can be controlled with music. That is all that is known about it thus far. There's nosebleed cat.
I would like to attune to the nosebleed cat to see what
While
it
all
does.
this is happening, while you're discussing things, you do pick up the cat and slowly start tuning to it. Like, every now and
We're
again,
having a very sensible
you just get
conversation.
small
Just
headaches
slowly.
and yeah, Scamp has nosebleeds. About every
Corzin
4
will
to
monitor
5
this
minutes.
to make sure they're not in any immediate danger.
I don't prestidigitate it after the third time because I feel they should have learned.
It's like a little nosebleed and it stops, and about the point where the blood is dried, it starts again. And this continues for about an hour before stopping overall.
Everyone else attuned to something. Figure out what they do.
Alright.
Okay, so the other things are, I'll tell you the items that require attunement. The singing blade is actually one of the items that would require attunement. The fingerless red cotton gloves do not require attunement. As been previously identified, when you're wearing them, if you've got something in your hands, nothing can tear your grip free. Your tendons are more likely to rip before whatever you're holding on to will come free of your hands, unless you will do the hands to release.
I'll very briefly de-attune to my waistcoat and attune to the singing sword. Because if we're doing a test, that's the one I go.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's find out what to do.
I'd like you to make a performance check, please. As this attunement actually consists of you just experimenting, playing music, coming in.
That's actually really bad for me. It's a 19.
I will add a D4.
I don't
Have
think-
another 4.
That's enough. with the burning. It just seems that things work in your favour. As you practice, you realise that you can change the music, the exact tune, but there's certain refrains that allow you to quite precisely control the sword. You could even get, if you so wish, get it down to a series of whistles. It does seem to require that same magical connection that you have with some of your other equipment, but anyone who is attuned to this sword and knows the sequence of whistles or music can, as a bonus action, command it to fly up to 30 feet away and attack someone. And then, for up to 3 further rounds, command it to attack another person within 30 feet of where it is, as a bonus action.
Kind of cool.
It is magical, and it does have an attack to... it does have a small bonus to attack and damage. But yeah, primarily it's probably not potentially that useful for this party because all 3 of you have quite clear uses for your bonus actions already, for the most part, but it is certainly an object of value and interest.
Yeah. It's cool, but I put it back down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
is super cool though, but it's, mechanically,
not necessarily that. Tactically, you kind of consider think it's amazing, but not for right now.
It's really fun, but it's not the one.
Scamp, roll an Arcana check, please.
Oh boy. Oh no, this is going to be a not good one. It's a not good one. That's a 10.
Oh no.
Over the course of your attunement, you slowly develop a slight headache and you get sporadic nosebleeds. The nosebleeds stop after an hour, but you have a vague weird sensation as if there's like a soft fuzz surrounding your brain. Like you can think through it with a little bit of practice. It's like and after a little bit of work, it's not even like that much of a distraction, but there is an ever-present something. And you feel, of all things, weirdly a little bit safer from Celestia. But, maybe. Hard to tell.
Huh.
If you want to take any sort of
psychic
active testing...
What
Is it
about
a psychic protection? I don't know. Attack me with your psychicness.
That sounds like a terrible idea, but sure. Fuck you, I do a vicious mockery.
Okay, Scamp, make a wisdom save, please.
That's a 4.
Okay. You roll damage, Celestia?
D4. 2d4 now. 4.
You wince a little as you take...
Might be 3
as there's a little bit of a pang in your head, and you take...
It's totally 3.
So
that is 7.
3 points of psychic damage. This, while attuned, the Jasper cat makes you resistant to psychic damage.
Huh. Does it feel like it does anything else or just that?
That's all you get from just attuning to it. Yeah, it's basically, it costs an attunement slot, and unless there are further properties to unlock, which you haven't discovered any yet, or possibly there might not be at all, that's all it does. Makes you just resistant to psychic damage.
My gut's saying it does something more, but I just have no evidence for that, so...
I mean, if we're really desperate, I could do objects past on it.
Might not be a
What
bad
else
idea
have
if
we
we've got
got
the
here?
time.
I can only do 3 of those, so it is worth noting. But I'm down.
Yeah.
What else needs a tuning?
With Sylvia's supervision, you could bring it up to the scrying room and adopt takes past it if you wanted. Other things, the Mithril and Cloudstone vial does not require attunement. It just it will just produce 1 healing potion overnight if provided with water and a crumbled herb and left for 8 hours.
I mean, that is really useful.
The invisible dagger does not require attunement. It's just an invisible mithril dagger. Actually, I don't think any of the last ones require attunement. So the remaining ones are the hunk of rose quartz. It doesn't require attunement, but Corzin, if you want to just hold it and almost make like an insight check, please, for an hour.
Insight. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this is dirty 20.
The glimmer, which is visible, is a little bit stronger to you, Corzin, as it is to Celestia. And focusing on it, you can feel something. You can feel a presence inside it, which reminds you of the nudist stone. No, it reminds you of the
woman.
It reminds you of the naked mole rat in Nudist Stone Woman Man.
Which I'm sorry, but is what it's called. I have no recollection of what it's actually called. And
Shatterback Reach.
No, it's Nudist Stone Woman Mine. I've already forgotten the other name. Shatterback Reach, incidentally, is actually a really good mine name. But anyway.
But yeah, you feel like this is from it reminds you of the things that Scamp identified of the Achene artifacts, where spirits had been bound into them to perform a task. This, you feel like once a day, maybe at most, it could move a large amount of earth, or reshape a small amount of stone. Does not require attunement.
Oh.
And finally, the black and white stone medicine ball does not require attunement either. It does.
It's just heavy.
It's just fucking heavy, and it does. It is thrown as part of an attack action, and part of the attack action is thumbing the runes to make it really light. So that when it lands, it does extra damage.
You don't break your own arms trying to throw it. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. It gives you 3 seconds of it weighing almost nothing, and then suddenly weighs 30 pounds again. 3 seconds
That
later.
was fun just to give to people to hold.
Oh, that's really funny.
Oh yeah,
I
it's a
want
great
it because of
pranking
that.
ball.
Yeah.
Just be a dick. Hey, hold this.
I'm very tempted by that, but I also think the rose quartz here, if we can get in the right situation, that could be invaluable.
Yeah, true.
You've just said, and I've immediately forgotten what it does.
The rose quartz, basically once a day, can either move earth or shape stone.
That could be helpful. I suppose if we're trapped somewhere, actually.
Or underground at all.
Yeah.
Not
Be a good way to get out
intend on
quickly.
being underground again, but, Ugh.
Like,
I mean, we might be, though.
there's a
know.
difference between underground and underdark.
Yes.
That is
Tell
very
my
true.
brain that.
Well, underground could just mean like a cellar.
Oh, cellar's enough, I assure you.
Or that tomb where you nearly died.
Yeah, all that tomb where we nearly died. That didn't help, did it?
No, that didn't help.
Okay, so sword fun but not that useful.
Oh, sword is
Nosebleed
excellent.
statue.
But
I really want to know more. I'm enjoying the nosebleeds.
do you want me to do a past spell on that? Because I totally can.
Worth it if we've got the time and the spells to do it.
Yeah, well, if you do that while I reattune to my cloak, because I've got to do that.
Yes.
Sure. You head up to the ascending room. What aspect of this little Jasper cat's past do you wish to look at? You got to specify.
Want to know what it does. But
You got to specify a moment in time.
how do I do this? Help
We
me.
would like a moment in time where its use was explicitly explained in a language we understand.
Can we say that?
You can request that. If that moment never happened,
Yeah.
then you won't see it.
I could say, show us this at a moment where it was most useful.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, I like mine too.
Yours is hilarious, but I might waste a fucking spell, might not, when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
Most useful. Okay. Alright. If that's the wording you want.
Is the wording okay? What do you think?
I mean, yeah.
Maybe, like, if there is a time where it did everything of which it is capable.
Oh, I like that better. That's much better. Let's do that one.
Because it has multiple things that it can do, and maybe there was a time where it did them all in a short space of time.
Show
Be able to
us
see it all.
this object at a time when it did everything of which it was capable.
Okay, that's going to be an interesting one. So, everything, a time which, within a 10-minute span, when it did everything which it was capable.
Have I thrown you a curveball here, Jason?
No, I know. It's a question of what that moment will be. Okay.
Ah.
You spin the eye and focus in on it. 10
Yeah, it
minutes
doesn't
past
go
next side.
pew when you spin it. That's not what happens.
You focus and feel yourself fall into the water, sinking down into the past, but not in a way that generates tallies. This is like, it's just replicating an existing spell. And flickering down and down and down, you hit that point where the water starts to get a bit darker.
Oh, yeah. It's not getting hot.
Not far enough to get hot, but you feel like you're a few centuries back at this point, certainly, when a bubble comes forward. And you find yourself in the midst of a battlefield. It's an interesting battlefield. You're presumably somewhere in Sunder, because there are Achene here. There are also Yonti. The battle there, it seems to be taking place in some sort of field which is being churned up by a mixture of what first seems to be artillery of some description and spells. Ranks of slightly disparate groups of Yonti are slithering or scrambling forwards, attacking with spears and shields against a quickly manoeuvring force of Achene, garbed in not dissimilar styles to the Panuki Achene you've seen. Like there's some, but like of a different era, so they don't match up perfectly. But there's definitely inherited styles going on. You watch as one clump of Yonti are you see a huge one that looks like basically like a massive fuck off python with a humanoid torso and arms coil up and spring 20 feet forwards, like in an instant, by uncoiling, using a huge spear to impale two Achene, before their companions try and slash with their glaives. As this huge Yonti springs back a moment later, and various more humanoid Yonti run into place to try and fill the gap, there's a as what you first believe to be, again, an artillery shell from a mortar or a cannon strikes and just blasts them apart. As the spray clears, you can see a smooth iron ball, now shattered from the impact. You look back, though, further away, and you can see it's not artillery. Huge figures with grey skin, perhaps between 20 and 30 feet high, wearing armor of steel, are spinning slings with boulders in them.
Whoa.
As giants are not hurling rocks with their hands, but using the mechanical advantage of slings to propel them like artillery shot. Massive distances. However, some are at the front, and you notice there is a black-skinned giant with like flaming red hair and burning red eyes, garbed in metal armor, and I want you to imagine like hoplite armor as well. Solid breastplate, vambraces and greaves with a huge shield and a spear. The spear, they just stab forwards into enemies as well, because bear in mind, which they could have got a fair bit of reach on, because again, they're like 20 feet tall. But there's one point where a group are coming forward and they thumb the spear point, and you see a bolt of lightning just crackle out the end. However, at the same time, there's other combat going on. As you look up, and you can see brilliant jewel-scaled wyverns above, being ridden by Yonti, are dropping rocks, burning what seem to be like just globules of burning hot, glowing metal down. Some of them, due to hit the giant, they flick their shield, something on their shield, runes glow up in gigantic all around it, and a sort of extended shield of hemisphere of force just like covers them for a few seconds,
like what Viv does.
Yeah, ding, 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 and the missiles ping off them before they fire another shot of lightning up. However, you can see there is actually a creature that looks much like Commandant Terence. A huge three-headed serpentine figure in elaborate ceremonial clothing, wielding a staff. And as they raise their hands, beasts of earth just clamber out of the ground and bound forwards, huge cats of stone. There are, you can see at their command, things like the creature you found in that one drowned temple full of ghosts, the Coatl, seem to descend from the skies. And in particular, and one thing amongst them stands out, what seems to be a massive cat, one you can almost, kind of like a jaguar almost, but which you can barely see, seeming to be composed of like semi-translucent fields of force. As they bound forwards and pass a hand, like a paw, through a unit of a Cheen, all of whose heads just explode. They flick out another. They open their mouth and sort of let out a yowl, and everyone within about 300 feet, on both sides, apart from the anathema, sort of the cleric-y type Yonti, just clutches their head and sinks to their knees. Even the giant, who's up at the front, kind of winces and has to like shake his head to get rid of it. The creature. Let's see. Okay, so that's one power. That's another power. The creature, the huge beast, then springs forwards, leaping a full 120 feet, and engages in a brutal melee with the giant. Their paws just go passing straight through his armor. and you see him weakening, like blood leaking from his nose and mouth. His red eyes, like becoming filled with fiery equivalents of like bloodshotness. And you can see him sagging as he tries to fight against it. He actually drops his spear at one point, reaches behind him, and pulls out what seems to be a small chunk of red jasper covered in gigantic runes. And there's a yowl of surprise and horror from the weird ethereal cat as he flings the rock into it, and the whole cat implodes into the piece of jasper, which reshapes itself into a tiny statuette of a cat with one paw raised. It drops to the ground and is trodden into the mud as Giant picks up his spear and advances. And as the vision closes, that is the last time all of its powers were used within a 10 minutes period.
Yeah.
You return.
Force psychic cat.
Oh,
That's what it was.
Whoa.
Super cool. I explain everything.
right. Was it comparable in size to Kerberos?
Yeah, about that.
Okay.
Maybe a little bigger.
Oh, wow. Okay, because Kerberos is, I believe, huge. size?
Kerberos is huge. This thing was huge, but like about 20% larger.
Right. Okay, so still within the same category, but big.
Yeah, same size category, but big.
Yeah.
Big cat.
Can you pet the cat?
Probably. I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Did see it seem to pass through most things.
It might not be corporeal, but if you try hard enough, I think you could probably pet it.
It's only one way to know.
Corzin, are you all tuned out? Out of curiosity.
Yes, however...
I thought you were. Never mind.
That doesn't need attuning to, does it?
It does.
No, that is one of the
Big
ones
Cat
that definitely
really does.
100% does need a tuning to.
Okay,
One
so
thing we
if I just remember this correctly, he has the boots of Elvenkind, the belt of eyes, and his hat doesn't require attuning to. Does his armor? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Might
You're
be
have you
alright
got?
then.
In which case, actually, yeah, no, I'm okay. I have one slot
Yeah.
left then.
yeah,
Because
okay.
fancy
neither
a
of my
big ol'
weapons require attuning to either.
You do basically have no idea how to access those features or what you'll need to do to unlock them, but you know that is the thing that this is,
I mean, it's really cool.
and the potential does exist for all of that.
You could have a cat and go with your dog. Or I mean, the
What?
other option, if you didn't want to attune to it, is that if we did want it, we could take it and we could swap it out before big fights or whatever, but it seems to make more sense to have somebody attuned to it if somebody's got a slot.
Yes.
There is also there's a thing that just makes healing potions.
Which is amazing, really.
I think it's between that and this, to be honest.
I mean, we can also just get healing potions.
That's true. Although
We can't get, ghost cat.
this is also true.
Stormy's solid, so...
A cheap and easy way to produce something that is a specialist item to produce is nothing to be sniffed at, though.
Oh,
Yeah, but
absolutely
it doesn't last outside. We couldn't just sell them, so it's not.
No. It's-
You actually can.
Can you?
It just generates them.
Yeah, but it takes,
Oh.
But it
a whole night.
It takes a whole night. Like the
Yeah,
the
well,
maximum.
still a 50 gold a get day we could be making.
True. But
25 actually. I think
that's-
yeah. But yeah.
Crash the healing potion market.
Oh, not even slightly. The healing potion market is huge. It just sells mostly wholesale to militaries.
Right. Okay.
Trixie.
Yeah, although I think you got a point that one of these things creates something that we can get via another means. whereas
them
the other
creates
thing
something.
absolutely doesn't.
Yeah, one of them creates something completely off the wall.
Yeah.
Which is extremely appealing.
From what you described, nobody is going to expect anything like this because nobody will have seen one for maybe hundreds of years.
Yeah. It's a difficult choice, isn't it? Because then there is also the rose quartz thing. Where,
I thought that
if we
was
got
this.
stuck
Oh, okay,
anywhere.
first.
No,
No,
the rose
no,
quartz.
this
This is red jasper. The rose quartz thing is the one
right.
that is. Although now that you sense it, this also has a bound spirit inside. But the rose quartz one is basically mold earth. Well, not mold earth. It's much better than that. It's like move earth and
I see.
shaped stone.
Right.
Whereas this one,
World Earth, I can do.
Yeah.
It's not good.
yeah, no, that one is basically if you want to carve out trenches or like make a hole in a stone wall, chunk of rose quartz is your friend. If you want to be resistant to psychic damage and maybe somehow, you don't know, gain access to the powers of ancient psychic tiger, then you want the nosebleed cat.
Okay.
I mean, I do also trust us to be able to blow holes in walls in other ways.
That's true.
But again, I don't trust us to be able to make an ancient psychic tiger just because we fancy it.
So we're ruling out the sword probably because it's fun, but we don't think it's going to be that practical.
Oh, I love it, but I don't need it.
The gloves that you don't let go of stuff. They're
Again,
cool.
situationally
They're kind of
useful,
fun, but we're
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, if we're ever falling off something and grabbing onto things, then they'll be bloody useful. But
Oh, I wish we had them next time that happens.
oh yeah. The vial that makes the potions could be good, but we think maybe we can get it elsewhere. The invisible knife is just an invisible knife. It's
Which
kind
again,
of
I
cool,
love,
but not
but it's
really
so
our
cool,
thing.
but randomly roll treasure, folks.
Yeah.
Got your fancy ball that gets heavy that we can't think of anything we want to do other than prank people. And then we got the making holes in things, which we are pretty good at.
I think we could probably make holes in things otherwise. If we have two, my vote goes for the fucking teleport circle for
Yeah.
a start.
That has to go.
At Leah's. And the nosebleed cat, which I can't believe I'm saying, but I am.
Because as far as we know, only we have the ability to do this of anyone in the whole world.
Our wisdom's figuring it out, so, you know. And the university people, they're working on it. They won't be that
But
long.
right here and right now.
Yeah.
Right, so I think I have to come down on the side of the teleport circle and this cat.
Can we name it Nosebleed?
It's already called Nosebleed. You don't need to name it.
Excellent.
Well, if it's
I
a bound
agree.
spirit, we could maybe ask it.
Today's
I don't know, it didn't
magic
look
items.
talkative.
Today's magic items is brought to you by Table Fables once again.
Yay, table
Yay.
tables!
We're not sponsored. I just like the book.
I just got it in for Christmas a few years ago and he hasn't stopped talking about it. That's what it is.
It's brilliant.
This is my campaign 2 character. It's not. It's called Well from Age of Adventure. That's what it is. Not that I've GM'd him forever, but you know.
Right. Okay, you make your selections, and the nosebleed cat. You inform you inform. I've completely forgotten her name. Sylvia. I keep thinking it's Selena for some reason. So it's a different character in a different setting. Sylvia. You inform Sylvia. Who's like, well, honestly, kind of glad to see the back of that. Very happily.
What do you mean
take...
you're not upset to see Nosebleed Cat go?
I imagine you. Hey, if you found a better use for it, by all means.
Have you just been watching scientists get nosebleeds like idiots?
It's been a confusing one for some time. You also want the huge stone platform.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got rubbings of the exterior and everything, and so I'll be ashamed to lose the original, but That's the price. How do you want it transported?
That's a really good question that we were going to ask.
See what we can arrange.
How big is it?
Sure.
Could it fit on the back of a cart?
It can fit in a car. It can't fit in one of Scamp's bags.
Right.
It's kind of that sort of size.
No.
I mean, could we rent a cart from them? Then again, we're not going to Thunder's Watch.
Well, not
No,
straight away, but...
I will say, for the sake of brevity, that bringing this issue to Eurus, one of things goes, I mean, from my standpoint, how about we just stick it on the smuggler barge until it gets to Newmark, and then you can... the barge doesn't actually need to come straight back here. I mean, I want it to come straight back here as quickly as possible, but it could take a couple of extra days. Get to Thunder's Watch, drop off...
We could have some people pick it up.
Have someone pick it up. It becomes
We've
their
got Mildred
problem.
and co. They're a good guard.
I think that's sensible,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then have the boat make its way back here.
That would be
Also,
amazing,
We've
actually.
we've got to cover this so that it isn't immediately obvious what it is to anybody.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, no one's going to know what it looks like a lump of rock, isn't it?
Yeah.
But still, it looks intriguing enough to steal, you know?
Yeah.
Give them a mystery,
fair
not
enough.
an indication.
Yeah, we'll just wrap it in cloth and stick it inside something under some less interesting things.
That'd be good.
Agreed.
Right.
Get in touch with Leah, I guess.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, so that we've got a present.
Yeah.
Sure. Do you want? If you leave us some details, I can take care of sending of that for you. Unless you want to do that personally.
Is it more or less weird?
I
not do
think
that personally?
this might be worth a personal touch, Celestia.
I think it maybe is.
Right.
Yeah, I'll do that. Thanks.
Okay. I'll leave that with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also, once he's gone, I'll say...
Oh, one last thing.
Oh, right, yeah.
Produces a small case filled with. Actually, it's not even a small case. Hands you a wallet. There are tucked in there is tucked in a series of banker's draft notes credited to G&G for 4,000 gold crowns.
Great.
Amazing.
Then you make your way up.
Ooh. Okay, I think we're kind of done, aren't we?
Yeah, time to head
I
back.
think so. All right. Yeah, what I was going to say before there is we want to keep the number of people who know about this to an absolute minimum.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
Really, I think you're right in that it's worth me sending to Leah directly, not least because it's going to be an inconvenience losing a few of their guard for a few days, but also she knows that this might be an us at random in the middle of the night when we need to escape
Yeah.
somewhere at some
Exactly.
point. So, yeah. Into her marital home and all that. So,
Sounds
worth
weird when you put
warning.
it that way, but you're absolutely right.
Worth warning the poor woman.
All right. You can do that, or we can abstract that as part of something you do on the way back.
I'll definitely do it. That's hilarious.
All right. Do you want to head to a sending room and do
Yeah,
that now?
Yeah, do
I'm
it.
gonna get this over with.
Yep.
No time at the present.
Oh, I guess can we abstract the bit where it's the sending maid and we get
Yeah.
her or whatever? Like, is
You
she
do.
there? Or...
One sending later, you sending later, you get a message saying saying that Lee will be available in 5 minutes. You wait 5 minutes, then you send him.
Leah, darling. Favor/imposition. Teleport circle. Acquired. Need safe spot. Can send to Thunders. Send guard. Hope you're well.
Well enough. Well done. Glad you're okay, sounds like. I'll make the preparations. Just let me know when and where. Soldiers are on the way.
Good. That was very businesslike. Excellent. Go us. Soldiers are on the way.
Brilliant. All right. Well,
Right.
it should take him at least a couple of days to get there, but that's fantastic. Sooner the better,
So I'll
really.
send again in a couple of days and arrange that.
Yes.
Or should I send now and say a vague time frame? What's the best thing to do here?
Well, we don't know.
Because
We don't know when we're next going to be back there, but if they're there waiting ready.
Oh no, she means for the circle. Vague idea of when it'll be in Thunder's Watch.
Oh. Well, that.
Do we have an idea of that?
your best guess is it's the 18th of Falling Leaves. It's gonna arrive in Newmark on the 21st. It'll probably take another couple of days to get to Thunder's Watch. So 23rd, certainly after the battle.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and that's assuming we have dealt with the Reaver problem.
But that doesn't affect whether the circle gets there.
Separate ship.
Ah, right.
That's not going on our ship. That's going on Eurus'
Okay, so
ship.
yeah, that was I got
Yeah.
wires crossed there.
Oh, it's alright. Many ships.
Sneaky little Sanctum steamboat.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I suppose I can actually tell her, so I'm going to send and
Yeah,
tell her
do
a
it.
vague
You do
idea
it.
so she can plan.
Okay, you send her
Send
dates
her a
and
message.
times and receive.
Thanks for update on soldiers. You sound well too. Glad. Circle in Thunders. Oh my god, what was the date that he said? I'm going mad.
23rd.
About 23rd. We'll tell when leaves Newmark. Regards to Michael. Don't know what to do with 2 words. Good day.
Your response. Thanks. We'll be there. Since I have the words, glad to hear from you. Running resistance is a real pain in the tits. Bye.
Running a resistance is a pain in the tits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not wrong.
Extremely Leah way of saying that.
Okay.
Well, that's sorted.
Good.
And going from one elf to another, you gather your things, say your last farewells, and meet up with Lady Grace and Viv. Conjure your horses, conjure your dog, and Corzin, now that you're attuned, if you're attuned to Nosebleed Cat, you go through an hour of nosebleeds. Nosebleeds at some point, and gain resistance to psychic damage as a base effect.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And make your way back to Thunder's Watch. No, back to Newmark. And that is where we will pick up next time. Thank you all very much for playing. Thank you all very much for listening. And farewell from all of us here at Flintlocks and Fireballs. Fair seas and natural 20s.
I once betrayed my trusted friends, and lost my path to excellence. But if we've luck afore the end, we get a chance to make amends.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.